Snow on the field this morning in New Hampshire. Big fans of number 95, Lightning McQueen. Ka-chow! Sunny skies for playoff football today here in the Granite State. The road to the FCS championship begins as the UT Martin Skyhawks travel to face the New Hampshire Wildcats. We take a look at the FCS championship bracket. Winner of this game moves on to the second round next week against the overall number 1 seed, undefeated Montana State. We welcome you here to Durham, New Hampshire. Robert Lee and former Michigan national champion Marcus Ray with you. Marcus, unfamiliar foes today, but that's part of the fun of the FCS championship. Teams that would never play each other trying to take the next step to the national championship.
That's the beauty of it. Playoff football, win, and you advance, lose, and you go home. I think about how both of these teams got here. You talk about UT Martin starting off 1-3. They run off 6 straight. But then New Hampshire, they come into November 4-4. They run off 4 straight. So when you play that type of football, that means that you're in championship mode. I think they both peaked at the right time. It's going to come down to who plays the toughest defense, doesn't give up any big plays, or at least minimizes them, stops the run, because both of these defenses are playing lights out, especially when you think about the Skyhawks and their 18 interceptions.
Teams are set to go here at Wildcat Stadium, and they just completed the coin toss. UT Martin won the toss, and they will defer to the second half, so UNH will have the ball first. First ever meeting between these two schools. It should be a good one. They appear very closely matched on paper, Marcus.
I tell you what, I mean, when you think about playoff teams and you look at the statistics, they're going to run rather parallel. But something has to give here, Robert. 32 points a game for UTM. UNH only giving up 24. But what jumps out at me is the passing yards and the total and the points allowed there. So yards gained, yards allowed. I tell you what, throw the stats out the window. I think this comes down to field position, turnovers, all right, and who scores touchdowns in the red zone, and then the rest of those numbers are even out.
For what it's worth, the experts in the desert project this as the closest game of the 8 first-round games being played in the FCS championship today. UT Martin led by longtime head coach Jason Simpson. Their winningest coach in school history is the longest tenured coach in his league, the Big South OVC. 123 wins for Coach Simpson.
He's been there a long time. He understands the culture. We asked him, does this team remind him of any other team? He kind of threw out 06, 21 a little bit, but every team's always different. Coach Simpson has been there. He thinks the keys to victory, they have to start well. I mean, they have to get off to a fast start, something they haven't done in recent games.
Ready to kick it away for UT Martin is Jaron Van Winkle, their place kicker, as well as their punter. Back deep to receive, Caleb Mead for UNH. UNH, the home team, in the dark jerseys, the blue jerseys with the white numbers. UT Martin, the visitors from Western Tennessee, in the road white jerseys with dark numbers. We're set to go. Both teams 8-4, both teams playing well. Winner moves on to take on Montana State in the second round. Opening kickoff is away, and it's a sidewinding kick that will be taken by Mead on the run at the 6-yard line. Mead picking his way forward just past the 20, and that is where UNH will go on offense first with senior quarterback Seth Morgan, second team All-CAA.
Seth has to have a great game, and what I mean by that, he has to take care of the football. He has to move the chains. He's very efficient. He gets rid of the football, doesn't give up very many sacks. And he has a big-time target out there in Logan Tomlinson, who's had a great season and a great career. As you take a look at Seth Morgan's numbers, he's tall, he can make the throws. See those 22 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. He's an all-conference kind of player, too.
First and only year at UNH, played last year at Shepherd, a Division II school in West Virginia, where he was first-team All-League there as well. He'll start in the shotgun, and he'll send Tomlinson in motion. And this is a handoff. Running up the middle for a short gain out past the 25 is Miles Thomason. Now, Miles Thomason played the first game of the year. He broke his hand. He was out for about 2 months. He's been out each of the last 2 weeks as they tried to preserve his red shirt, which they did. However, games in the playoffs do not count against your red shirt total, so he is playing today, and he's expected to get a lot of carries.
Yeah, and he's going to have to run that ball downhill versus a very tall, athletic, twitchy front 7 for UT Martin.
So Thomason, who came into the game with 214 yards rushing, gets the first carry of the game, and he'll get the second carry as well and spin his way up the middle, about 3 yards shy of a first down. Will set up a third down here for the Wildcats. UNH has really gone on this 4-game winning streak by chewing up the clock, and their coach Rick Santos told us, we're going to huddle, we're going to take it late into the play clock every play.
Yeah, that's one way to protect your defense, is to keep them off the field, especially when you can move the chains, eat clock, don't turn it over, get first downs. But then your defense comes out and they get a 3 and out. Then you just keep the ball, just play keep away, and that's one way you keep your scoring defense down.
Morgan, the senior quarterback, sends a man in motion, Ramshaw. He's back to pass. He's pressured. He throws into the flat. It's caught. Long way to go for the first down. Won't get there. Shy of the 30-yard line. It was Miles Thomason on the reception. UNH will be forced to punt.
That was excellent defense there in pass coverage. The Skyhawks dropped 7 in coverage, and they really took away all of the reads and progressions for Seth Morgan. He had to check the ball down. And once that ball gets checked down behind the line, now it's just time to rally and tackle the catch. That's a great first series there for UT Martin.
3 and out for the UT Martin defense. Will bring on Sean Lahane, third-team All-CAA punter, averaging 45 yards a kick to the very dangerous O'Shea Baker, the best punt returner in his league. This is a returnable kick. Baker will take it to the 34. He's coming near side, trying to turn the corner, and good punt coverage there by UNH will push him out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line. And UT Martin will go on offense first for the first time with 6th-year grad student Kincaid Dent. Played his first 4 years at Ole Miss.
Now, Kincaid, as you mentioned, he's an SEC transfer. He likes those play-action pass, deep shots, can make all the throws, and every now and then he will use his legs to beat you and extend plays. So he's not a guy you can just blitz and just let him sit back there all day either, because he'll go through his progressions. As you take a look at his numbers there, 7 interceptions, 19 touchdowns, close to 60% completions.
Second year as the UT Martin starter, has won 16 games in his 2 years. He'll take the snap, play action, throws, fake the screen, and now he'll just ground it. Intended for Tyler Dostin. It'll be second down.
It's good heads-up defense there by New Hampshire. I'll tell you what, some teams come out and run the ball on first down and second down to try to stay out of long yardage situations, because when you get in 2nd and 10, you have to probably run the ball, but it gets a little predictable. Maybe a screen or a draw could be on the way, but teams like to try to get good yards on first down.
It's a quick pass out into the flat for Tanksley. Devontae Tanksley, first reception of the game for a gain of about 4. And it'll set up a third down as both defenses getting the better of the play so far.
Yeah, that play right there, Robert, that's an RPO where it's a run-pass option where Dent could have handed the football off, but he's reading the second level of the defense, and if he likes the numbers on the outside, he'll throw it. If he doesn't, then he'll hand it off.
Crowd here at Wildcat Stadium getting excited for a 3rd and 7. It's Tanksley in motion. Dent back to pass. He throws near side. It is caught for a first down by Trevante Rucker across midfield to the 48. Rucker, who leads the team in receiving yards, over 660 yards coming into the game. Also 6 touchdowns, second-team all-league player. There is an injured player on the field for UT Martin, and it is Trevante Rucker who just had that reception.
That was an excellent throw and catch there. Kincaid Dent watching that coverage. That time, New Hampshire was in cover 2. They had 2 safeties deep. As you see, Dent going through his progressions, and he looked them off. Rucker ran that inward breaking slant there.
Kind of an awkward way that Rucker was tackled. As we'll keep it right here, just over 3 minutes into the game, Rucker is walking off the field, a senior from Ocala, Florida. Played his first 2 years at Jackson State for Coach Prime, and in his 2nd year now here at UT Martin. But it was enough for a first down, a completion of 10 yards across midfield as UT Martin into plus territory. UT Martin averaging about 32 points a game for the season, but they've really come on strong of late. And against FCS competition, they played 2 FBS schools this year, 35 a game against FCS schools. So this is an offense that can move the ball. They're roughly 60% rush and 40% pass. We've yet to see Cheeks Smith, their running back, get a carry, and it's going to be a flag before the play. A false start. First time we've met our official today, our referee, Travis Barta.
False start. Offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty. It remains. First down.
Cheeks Smith is the leading rusher in the Big South OVC, over 1,100 yards, 13 touchdowns this season, number 2. He's lined up next to Dent.
That was Tyler Dotson, guilty of moving prematurely. They actually weren't set. It's one thing as a quarterback, when you go tempo, you have to make sure your guys are all set, especially when you do motion.
Here's Smith on the carry, running it over the left side, and got some of that penalty yardage back just short of midfield. Smith started his career at Vanderbilt, 3 years there. He's from the Jersey Shore near Atlantic City, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. First year at UT Martin.
That was a nice tackle there coming from the secondary by Zidane Williams, number 10. Should take a look at that New Hampshire defense. I mean, they're playing lights out. When you're talking 70% red zone, third down, getting people off the field, obviously getting plays in the backfield, and time of possession. So defense is how they've really built their success in the last month.
A throw over the middle to the tight end, Tyler Dostin, who will set up a third and manageable. Yeah, Coach Simpson told us there's no free plays against this New Hampshire defense. They make you earn every first down.
That's exactly what he said, too. And you can't beat yourself with penalties. You find yourself in long yardage. They don't need any help stopping you, I promise. But, you know, and then when you look at third down, their percentage is high because they keep people in third and long, 3rd and 6 type situations. It's really tough to play defense on 3rd and 1 and 2.
31% opponent third down conversion this season for the UNHD. Dent back to pass, pressured off the edge, scrambling to the right side, looking to run. He will, and he'll pick up the first down inside the 40. Kincaid Dent is able to run the ball. He is about 270 yards rushing coming into the game, and he picks up, looks like he might have gone out of bounds about a yard shy. Thought he was going to get that fairly easily. It's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, I thought it was relatively close, and I thought, you know, he should have pulled the old Pat Mahomes, stick that ball out.
Right.
When you're going out of bounds, quarterback, you'll get another 6 to 12 inches just by sticking it out, but they're obviously going to go for it here.
4th and inches. The running back Smith yet to get a carry. Oh no, he did run one time over the left side earlier on this drive. Now they'll get up to the line, possible quarterback sneak coming here. It is Dent over the left side, and he is pushed forward for what appears to be enough for a first down to the 38. It'll be close. Obviously, the UT Martin receivers think they've got it. They're signaling as such, and it is enough for a first down.
It's no play like a quarterback sneak, especially when it works. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's only 6 inches. And a lot of times, you know, people don't like to go under center, especially 100% shotgun teams, but it's definitely a weapon in short yardage and goal line.
And Dent is 6'4", 215, a big body to push that pile forward. He is a 6th-year grad student. He's 24 years old. Play action. Dent stands in, throws deep down the middle. Has a man in the end zone. It's incomplete. Incomplete, a little bit too far. Intended for Devontae Tanksley.
You'll see here, I mean, that was good pass protection. This is what they like to do. They run the football, and then they set you up. As soon as they cross the 40, 50-yard line, they're going to take their shots and keep you honest. So as a defensive backfield, that's pretty good right there by New Hampshire with their eye discipline. Talk about Jonathan Collins, Jr., the cornerback, number 7, but that was good. That was good football on both sides.
Extended opening drive here for UT Martin, facing a 2nd and 10. Rucker in motion. He's back in the game after being shaken up earlier. He'll get the jet sweep over the left side and be spun down just shy of the 30-yard line, setting up a 3rd down. It's only his 3rd carry of the season.
The good old-fashioned jet sweep, attack the perimeter, force that defense to play laterally. That's something you have to do against New Hampshire. Just in between the tackles, north and south, they get after you. But if you can stretch them a little bit, get to the perimeter, I think they've shown little chinks in their armor from time to time out on the edge.
the strength of this New Hampshire defense, their defensive ends, but Josiah Silver is banged up coming into the game. He will play sparingly. It's a run up the middle for Cheek Smith, has a first down into the secondary, brought down at the 18-yard line. Another UT Martin first down. Gavin Erda there on the stop.
Yeah, you mentioned Silver, Flex Ruiz. I mean, there's, as bookends, there's no two better, definitely in the conference and possibly in the country when we talk about their production and leadership. And if Silver really can't go, that's going to affect their pass rush and their run game.
Yeah, Silver, a four-time All-CAA selection, was injured late in their game last week against Maine. He's one of the finalists for the Buck Buchanan Award to the top defensive player in FCS. He wears number 8. We've seen him very sparingly so far, if at all. 1st and 10. Dent up the middle. Dent breaking free inside the 5. Down to the 4 will set up a 1st and goal. And Coach Simpson told us that their offense becomes much tougher to stop when Kincaid Dent can run for 35 or 40 yards in a game and possibly more.
Well, that's called a power read right there, where you get the jet sweep action, attacking the perimeter. Then you get a backside guard. He's pulling. That's a tough read for the defense. I'll tell you what, Kincaid Dent, he read it, kept the ball, and got positive yards.
Wildcat snap to Rashad Raymond, running over the right side for a touchdown. Rashad Raymond, who's one of those players who's going to redshirt, but is able to play today. 2nd touchdown of the season from 4 yards out.
You'll see there, we get a little full house backfield looking, and they pull another backside lineman, and they outnumber the defense in the box. And anytime you start going Wildcat, that quarterback has to be accounted for.
Officials timeout for defensive injury.
There's an injured New Hampshire player on the field. We're unable to see what number player that is. Looked like, thought it was number 10, Zidane Williams, a safety. It is number 10, one of the captains on this New Hampshire Wildcats team.
He made that nice open field tackle earlier on this drive. Very productive, solid player, leader back there.
We'll step aside while they tend to Williams. UT Martin has taken the early lead. (6-0) UT Martin has taken the early lead. Zidane Williams did walk off the field under his own power.
Let's go, Cat!
We'll see if he's able to return. On for the extra point is Jaron Van Winkle, the kicker for UT Martin. Comes into the game 8-4. They've won 7 of their last 8. As Marcus mentioned earlier in the game, they started the year 1-3. But a win over Kennesaw State, an FBS school on the road, really kind of helped turn their season around. And they're now here in the first round of the FCS playoffs. They were 1-1 against other teams that made the 2014 field, a loss against Southeast Missouri and a win against Tennessee State. Low snap, kick is up, kick is good. Makes it 7-0 in favor of UT Martin as we take another look at that touchdown run by Rashad Raymond.
As you see here, they just go with that single wing look. They call it the Wildcat nowadays. You get a lot of push on that right side from your all-conference right guard. Vance, Van Every, Drake Carroll. Right side really is that's the strength of their offensive line. And, well, their center, I'm sorry, Van Every. And then you talk about Drake Carroll at the right guard. But those big fellas, man, they got a good push there. You see that drive, 12 plays, 62 yards. That's how you attack a great defense like New Hampshire. You keep them out there. You make them earn it, and you get first downs. You mix it up. I thought they did a fine job mixing up the run and pass on that drive and getting first downs.
5 rushes, 5 passes, I should say, 7 rushes. So as you said, a good mix, and Coach Simpson wanted to start fast. Can't do much better than that. A 3-and-out defensively and then a 12-play drive for a score. So New Hampshire will look to answer back off the kick from Jaron Van Winkle. Caleb Mead back deep to receive. End-over-end kick will be taken by Mead at the 5. Mead coming near side. Mead has some space in the open field across the 30. Couple men to beat. Mead gets by the kicker, gets a block. Mead inside the 30. He's going to take it in for a UNH touchdown. Caleb Mead, 95 yards, and it's 7-6.
You want to talk about big-time play? Watch these blocks here as they set up. You kick it on the right, call a left return, and he's virtually untouched. Missed tackle right there in the open field by Van Winkle. It's always tough for those kickers to make the play, but this guy, Caleb Mead's a special kind of guy because we've seen him play both sides of the ball, Robert. He's a two-way guy, but once you're a two-way guy that returns kicks, now you're a three-way guy.
The kick by Nick Mazie is up and good. And that's an answer for UNH. Caleb Mead, first touchdown return of his season. 95 yards. Caleb Mead ties it up at 7. Caleb Mead with the answer for the Wildcats, returning the kick 95 yards for a score to tie the game at 7. And now New Hampshire will kick it away with Nick Mazie back deep to receive. Cheek Smith along with O'Shea Baker for UT Martin. It is a squib kick that will bounce all the way to Baker at the 13-yard line. O'Shea Baker heading to the far side and swarmed under at the 26. We talked about Caleb Mead. What a diverse, versatile player he is. He's been primarily a cornerback throughout his career. But last week, with a lot of injuries in the backfield, he ran for 113 yards against Maine, helped lead them to victory. He was actually a star running back in high school at Upper Moreland High School north of Philadelphia. Almost 3,000 yards and 37 touchdowns.
Just a special talent. I mean, to be able to do it on both sides of the ball, you see it happening with Travis Hunter in Colorado at the FBS level, and I think you're going to start to see that trend come. More and more players are going to start to play both ways. Not as many as high school football, but when you talk about a guy like me, he can do it in all three phases. Also
ran the 100-meter dash in high school. You saw that speed on display there. It's a handoff for Smith running over the right side as UT Martin trying to move its way up the field again. A good gain on first down of about 6 for Smith. So on one hand, UT Martin's thrilled. They controlled the clock. They went down the field, took almost 6 minutes, and then it all came back in one play. What's the mindset here?
Well, right here, you just want to do what you did last drive and continue the ball control and keep, New Hampshire's offense off the field. Now, they're not probably going to score every time on special teams, even though they answered that bill. But I think if you're UT Martin, you just play good football like you did last drive.
Broken up, intended for Trevante Rucker. Wande Owens there on the stop. He's a player to keep an eye on. Number 5 for UNH. A transfer from Yale, has already graduated from Yale. He's a sixth-year grad student. First team All-CAA this year.
You see right there, a little RPO action again, as you mentioned. Wande Owens, I mean, he's the quarterback of this defense. He's played well, more than 100 tackles coming into this game. Has a pick 6 under his belt. First team All-Conference. I mean, you just don't get too much better at that boundary safety.
Sets up a third down. And it's a keep for Dent, who's got the first down across the 35 and the 40 to the 41. A gain of 7 and a first down on the ground again for Kincaid Dent. Sixth-year grad student, started his career at Ole Miss. He's from Yazoo City, Mississippi, about 50 miles north of Jackson, Mississippi. And at Ole Miss, I mean, this is the transfer game, right? I mean, people talk about transferring up, down, whatever. He attempted 9 passes in 4 years at Ole Miss. Now he's getting to play big-time reps as a starter here at UT Martin. It's a throw into the flat for Rucker.
Yeah, and I think in today's age, everybody wants to play, but there's a home for it. Sometimes coming out of high school, some of these players get caught up in the glitz and glamour of the big stage, and they find out, there's good football being played in other places, and finds himself in the playoffs as a starting quarterback, and he's won 16 games, the last 2 seasons. So he's just a smart kid that's taking advantage of his opportunities.
Over those 2 years, 44 touchdown passes, only 15 interceptions. All sorts of time here. Now flushed out of the pocket to the left. Throws it for wide open Smith. Overthrew him. Incomplete.
He had all day to throw the football there. That's a nice job by the offensive line. And it's kind of tough rolling to your left, trying to check the ball down here to your running back. But one thing New Hampshire does well is they don't let the ball get behind them often. They keep it inside in front, and they can get pressure on you with 4 people and still not compromise their secondary. So that was good pass coverage as well.
This offensive line, a veteran group, all at least in their 4th year, including 3 all-conference players. Wande in motion, and it's Dent who's going to think about running. He'll throw into traffic, and it's caught for a first down by Devontae Tanksley across midfield.
An absolute laser. I think at this point, he has too much time to throw the ball. Goes through all his progressions. You see they ran a little 3-man route combination over there. Tanksley came from the backside. So that means there was about a 6-second window in there for Dent to go through all his progressions and find a man, and actually thought about tucking and running.
Again, Josiah Silver, their all-league defensive end, will play sparingly, if at all, today. So Flex Ruiz, number 0, the top pass rushing threat for UNH, and another flag before the play, and it's going to be another false start against UT Martin.
Number 88. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
Tight end Andrew Smithberger, second time a tight end has committed a false start, which Jason Simpson does not love, I'm sure. UT Martin certainly controlling the scrimmage action. 19th play coming up. UNH has 3 plays.
Yeah, that's called ball control, and that's first downs and clock management.
Dent, all sorts of time again, surveys the scene, throws for a wide open man. It's dropped. Asa Wande was all alone in the secondary. It'll be second down.
Asa Wande was there for about 3 seconds. Dent actually went from right to left and worked his way back to the middle. He just took his eyes off the football. I mean, Robert, it hit him in a bad spot right in the hands. I mean, you can't ask for, a better spot there. He just took his eyes off the football, and that was a good throw, being able to locate the open man sitting down on a sprint out pass.
4 receivers bunched to the bottom left of your screen. They'll throw it the other way. It's caught by Rucker, and he's immediately spun down after a short gain. Good tackle on the play by Noah Stansberry, 6th-year senior cornerback. Set up 3rd and long.
You start to see empty 0 backs, 4 receivers to one side. What they're trying to do is isolate the way they just did there with Rucker to get that one-on-one matchup. You throw a short pass and see if you can get a missed tackle, and then you try to take it up the sideline. But you'll see that formation again, and it won't just be on long yardage.
We talked earlier about the importance of 3rd down, how good UNH's defense is on 3rd down. 4 out of 5 UT Martin on 3rd down so far. Dent back to pass, has time again, steps up in the pocket, throws deep for Tanksley, and it's overthrown again, incomplete. And it appears this is going to be 4th and 9. It appears UT Martin will punt.
They lined up in a formation there. We had a little unbalanced look and a motion. That's the one thing about New Hampshire. It's tough to trick them, tough to get behind them. It's good defense on 3rd and 9 there. I think UT Martin probably could have ran something and got about 6 yards and then made it a very 4th and manageable 4-down situation.
Jaron Van Winkle is the punter. Thomason back deep to receive. It bounces inside the 5, and it's down at the 1-yard line. Excellent job by the Skyhawks special teams. Downs it at the 1. Just over 3 minutes left to go, first quarter. UNH on offense, tied at 7. The Wildcats and head coach Rick Santos backed up deep here from their own 1-yard line after the excellent special teams by UT Martin. Seth Morgan, about 5 yards deep in the end zone, will take the pistol snap for only their 4th play of the game. Somebody moved on the line. It's either going to be 5 yards the other way or about 18 inches the other direction. Both teams pointing.
That's one thing you want to do as an offense, is try to get a free 5 without much to lose here. We'll find out.
False start. Offense. Number 76. A penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. First down.
So be it about a 1.5-foot penalty against UNH for head coach Rick Santos. You see, and he's in his 4th season overall. 1 year as the interim coach, 3 years as the official head coach. And he was a baller. He was the greatest quarterback in UNH football history back in the mid-2000s as they run it over the left side for about 1 yard. First all-time over 13,000 yards passing, 123 touchdown passes. He won the Walter Payton Award back in '06 as the best offensive player in FCS, 4-time first-team all-conference.
Yeah, he could flick it, he could spin it. He's a great leader. And, we asked him on the call, does he ever still get that itch and get in there? And he told us, Robert, didn't he? He said he plays a little scout team quarterback in the red zone to show him what it's supposed to look like when those guys start challenging him a little too much.
Said he mixes in some clips here and there of himself throwing the ball back in the day. Way back in the day now. Morgan pressured in the end zone, gets away from the safety, throws it incomplete. Almost a safety there. He ended up throwing it intended for Caleb Burke.
It's really tough, though, there. I mean, you'll see this pressure here, get a little pressure from the nickelback, still a 4-man rush. The danger of trying to pass the ball in the end zone is you could get a holding penalty. Not only can the quarterback get sacked in the end zone, but if you get a holding penalty in the end zone, that's a safety as well. So a lot of times you'll see offenses take up just a straight drop back and let it go shot to try to catch the deep one or get a pass interference.
Josh Hastings was coming off the edge, number 5 on the blitz. This will be 3rd down and 9. Throw down the middle, it is juggled and incomplete, intended for the tight end Colby Ramshaw. It'll be 4th down and they'll be forced to punt again.
That's actually a pretty good read. As you see Morgan, he recognized it was single high, which means one safety in the middle of the field. When you see one safety, and you want to attack the hash marks with tight ends and slot receivers, and that was a good read. He saw that as UT Martin kind of moved their secondary around. It's a good read. Tough catch, though, because it was a little bit high.
O'Shea Baker on the plus side of the field, the best punt returner in the Big South OVC. Lahane takes the snap and hits a very poor kick that will bounce out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. It's going to be great field position for UT Martin. So the special teams advantage to UT Martin. They pin the punt to the 1-yard line after a 3-and-out. They've got excellent field position after the punt going the other way.
It's a good coaching strategy there by UT Martin. When they took their shot, right? I was talking about 4-down territory.
I agree. I thought they should go for it.
Yeah, and then they turned around and they pinned them down inside the 5, come back with better field position with the ball on 1st down. We talk about being on the 34-yard line. I mean, it just played out in their favor here, but that's what they're doing, playing to their defense. Remember, we talked about special teams, time of possession, and field position was going to play a role.
Glover Cook III is now the running back to the right of Kincaid Dent. And it's a handoff for Cook. Running it over the left side and pushing the pile forward for about 4 yards. Cook, a 6th-year senior from Ocala, Florida. Played 4 years at Florida Atlantic before coming to UT Martin last year.
See Coach Simpson's resume there, offensive coordinator. Before that, quarterback coach, Texas State. Around the time I was in college, he was the quarterback coach at Jacksonville State. Coach Simpson knows that offense, man. He's had a lot of success, put some players in the NFL.
And UT Martin was not a good program until he arrived. They won 20 league games in 14 years before he showed up. Since he showed up, they've been the best team in the league in terms of winning percentage. 93-50 in league play since he became the head coach in '06. Including 33-13 over the last 4 years overall. How about in conference? 21-4.
Yeah, you want to talk about changing the culture, man, and bringing the right kind of people in there, building it from the ground up, getting the right kind of players in there to buy in and win some ball games, man. It's 14 league wins out of 20 years.
20 wins, 14 years
20
leading
wins,
up to his arrival. Wow. Facing a 3rd and 5 here in what could be 4-down territory. Dent back to pass, throws the slant near side. It's caught by Rucker for a 1st down inside the 25 to the 21. And we asked Coach Simpson, what's kind of that special sauce that's helped you out? Martin, Tennessee is not a big place. It's in the northwest corner of Tennessee. It's near the Kentucky-Missouri border. He said it's a small town. He said Walmart is our mall here. He said, if you're looking for bright lights in big city, this is not the place for you. You're coming here to play football and get an education.
Yeah, blue collar, hard working, just low key, gritty.
On the march here again, it's a handoff for Cook, bouncing it outside to the left. Glover Cook turns upfield and submarined at about the 15-yard line as we come up to the end of the first quarter. An interesting first quarter because UT Martin has completely dominated the play from scrimmage, but New Hampshire with a 95-yard kickoff return tied at the end of one. 7-7 the score after one quarter in the first round of the FCS Championship. Quarter number 2 coming up after this. You see the numbers from that first quarter. Complete domination on plays from scrimmage by UT Martin. UNH has run 6 plays for a total of 9 yards so far, but the score tied thanks to a 95-yard kickoff return by Caleb Mead. We head to the second quarter. Robert Lee, Wolverine national champion Marcus Ray with you from Durham, New Hampshire. Our entire ESPN crew on a sun-splashed Saturday afternoon. Weather honestly doesn't get much better than this time of year. It's temperatures in the 40s, a little bit of a breeze, but it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, it definitely could. I mean, we appreciate the weather, and we appreciate both these teams showing up, fighting it out. The numbers are lopsided, but that one punt return, kickoff return, obviously, adds to their overall yards as well, too.
Cook running left, trying to get to the edge and forced out of bounds by Ryan Toscano. Ryan Toscano is a great story, a 6-year grad student, a true walk-on from Bedford, New Hampshire, about 40 miles southwest of campus. He only had Division II offers. He showed up, he didn't play much for his first 3 years. Now he's top 10 all-time at the school in tackles. Second team all-league this year, and Coach Santos said one of his greatest moments as head coach was giving Ryan Toscano a scholarship a couple of years ago.
Oh, definitely. He earned it. He's productive and disruptive, and one of those key cogs at linebacker.
And Toscano in there on the stop again. Coach Santos says he epitomizes everything we're about as a program with his work ethic, 6 foot 215. New Hampshire, let's be honest, Marcus, not a hotbed at Division I talent. Coach Santos said as much, but hard-working, blue-collar guys.
If this stands here as a field goal, I think this is a win for the defense, as you see the tackle leaders on the screen. But the momentum UT Martin had with the short field coming out here to only get surrendered to a field goal, I think that's good for that defense.
Jaron Van Winkle's kick is up, and it is good. The 30-yard field goal for Jaron Van Winkle gives the Skyhawks the lead. We will step aside for a timeout as well. Another good drive for UT Martin ends with 3, 10-7 the score. Early in the second quarter, UT Martin 10-7 lead over UNH. And Caleb Mead back deep to receive the kick for the Wildcats. See if they kick it to him again. Jaron Van Winkle is the kicker. He had a 95-yard kickoff return in the first quarter. This is a pop-up, and it'll be fair caught, and he fumbled it out of bounds, but it's going to be great field position for UNH. So they kicked away from Mead, but now the Wildcats have the ball close to the 40-yard line.
And you'll see here, we call that a Pepsi kick, where it pops up in the air. The ball was fortunate enough to go out of bounds for UNH.
It was Ramshaw, the tight end, who dropped the ball. Had they been in the field of play, it would have been a live ball.
And that's one thing about not kicking it deep is you give up field position. But if you're playing to your defense and you feel like they can get a stop.
New Hampshire signaled for a fair catch. Muffed the ball, and it went out forward. It'll be New Hampshire's ball, first down.
6 plays, 9 yards from UNH so far offensively. What do they need to do better?
Well, I think they got to get better push up front, run the ball on first down, and I think they have to take some shots too. But they really need to establish some type of rhythm in the run game there and wear this defense down.
Play action. Morgan hit as he throws. It's incomplete, intended for Logan Tomlinson. Of note, the running back in the game is Caleb Mead, number 4. So they do put Mead in the game, although he'll check out now for Thomason. But just nothing for UNH on offense so far. A team that averages only about 24 points a game, but struggling to move the ball so far.
Yeah, they have to have more positive yards on first down. That's why I said probably run the football, maybe a quick hitch or something to the boundary just to get some type of rhythm going.
Play action. Into traffic and dropped. Another drop by the UNH wide receiving core. This one, Caleb Burke.
Burke, normally a sure-handed guy. He walked in here, 49 grabs, 688 yards, and 6 touchdowns. I like the call there off the play action. We got a little curl route, and Morgan threaded that needle, but you just can't drop it now. Now you're on 3rd and long. Defense is going to pin their ears back, probably an obvious passing situation. As you see those numbers on the screen, and no fly zone. This UT Martin, they get pass breakups and interceptions all over the place.
18 interceptions this year, 4th in the country. They'll rush 3 here. Stepping up, Morgan throws. And incomplete. Intended for Casey McKinney. But they're dropping 8. There's not a lot of windows to complete those passes.
No, when you drop 8, I mean, you can get a couple different looks. You can get 4 deep, 4 under. You can go 5 under, 3 deep. There's just not a lot of holes. He found one late right there. Just wasn't able to make the grab. It was McKinney. But when you rush 3 and drop 8, like you said, the odds are in the defense's favor. But I really think New Hampshire needs to run the ball on 1st and 2nd down just to put a little bit of pressure on the defense and make it where it's not 3rd and 10.
Lehane on for another punt to O'Shea. Baker is at his own 10-yard line. Much better kick this time. Baker calls for the fair catch and makes it just shy of the 20. So UT Martin with a 128-9 advantage in yards and time of possession, which was something Coach Santos talked to us about from UNH. UT Martin 13 minutes, New Hampshire 3 minutes. And that, you were a defensive guy. How much does that start to wear you down? Maybe not necessarily in the second quarter, but later in the game.
Well, you look at it as body blows in a heavyweight bout, right? You don't really see the effect of them early. 1 or 2 may make you bend over, but when you get into the later rounds, you find out you just don't have as much gas in the tank. You've been out there too long. It's like throwing a lot of blows early in a heavyweight match.
UT Martin 27 plays, UNH 9 plays. Play number 28 is going to be a throw over the middle for wide open Trevante Rucker, breaking tackles, darting into the free. Wande Owens tracks him down from behind, but not until he picks up a first down to the 42. 23-yard gain.
You'll see here, you get that this is another RPO. This is a 100% run play. That's not play action pass. That was legitimately a run play called where the linemen aren't quick to get down the field. And that takes the linebackers towards the line of scrimmage and opens up the underneath pass lanes for the defensive backs to get beat inside.
So UT Martin has moved it smartly. They've moved it consistently throughout the game. Handoff for Cheek Smith. And he'll take it over the right side for a gain of 3. Did ask why cheeks. His grandma said when he was young, he had big cheeks. It kind of stuck.
Well, you saw that when we saw that nice smile on his profile picture a little earlier. Got those big cheeks, white teeth. Young man, you know, can run that football, man. He's very, very productive on the season. 1,123 yards coming in here.
Hasn't been called on much so far. He'll get the carry again and be spun down and dropped. Cameron Garner-Young, the tackle for loss, backup defensive tackle. And Cheek Smith, we mentioned 3 years at Vanderbilt. Played sparingly there, 800 yards or so over 3 years, but now having a big season for UT Martin. He's the 4th. This is the 4th year in a row UT Martin's had a 1,000-yard rusher. 4 different players.
Yeah, you got to tip your cap there to Coach Simpson in that system there. This young man definitely can tote the pill. You're talking about 13 touchdowns on the ground coming in. I like how he catches the ball out of the backfield, and he's much improved in his pass protection. 3rd
down. Dent has time, gets away. Dent is going to look to run. He's got the first down across midfield, spins forward, still on his feet and out of bounds, just shy of the 40-yard line. Good improvisation by Kincaid Dent.
That's where he hurts you. That's where he separates himself. You're talking about being tall, man. He's like what you call, we used to call it sneaky athletic, deceptively fast. It is not like he's a burner, but watch out. Just watch the turnover and athleticism when he breaks contain here. Eyes down the field, makes a move on defensive backs. lowers his shoulders, gets the first down. That's what it takes to win a ball game like this. We talk about being on the road in the playoffs.
Pulls it back, has a man wide open down the middle. Tyler Dustin trying to break a tackle. Owens trying to drag him down. Dustin brought down, he fumbled the ball, but he was down at the 3-yard line. Huge play to Tyler Dustin. And both players are down. Dustin grabbing at his knee. Very awkward tackle there.
The ruling on the field is the carrier was down. Down. Injury timeout on the field for an offensive player.
Tyler Dustin, as we take another look at it, a huge gain, but then injured late in the play.
Love the play call and the play action and the deception of the selling the run there. It's a weird kind of takedown tackle from behind there by Wande Owens, as you see.
Is that hip drop tackle they talk about?
Yeah, it's borderline hip drop. More, you know, there's a couple different ways. The one that's illegal is when you lift them off the ground and dunk them on the side like WWE wrestling. But that one there is that takedown hip drop. But watch how the legs, he uses his legs to tie the legs. That's where you'll start to run into some, So that's not illegal, but I think eventually when you talk about college football, they're going to find a way to separate the legs as well from pretzel wrapping.
Tyler Dustin, a third-year sophomore transfer from Kent State. And the Danville, Indiana native being tended to. 10-7, UT Martin with the lead. They continue to tend to Tyler Dustin, as we said, from Danville, Indiana, west of Indianapolis. Came into the game with 21 catches and 5 touchdowns this season, and just had a 38-yard reception inside the 5, but was injured on the play.
I really like the design of that play action and that call there, and great read by Kincaid Dent. You just hate to see guys help you get here this far down in the season and make a big play for your offense, and then possibly have a, taking this long, there's no telling what that injury is, but possibly having to miss either the rest of this game or whatever it may be. But he gave it up for his teammates, brother.
This is the first round of the FCS championship. 8 games being contested today nationwide. The winner of this game has a tough assignment next week. They're headed out to Bozeman, Montana to take on the #1 overall seed, Montana State. Montana State's undefeated, 12-0, just crushing teams. You see the rest of the bracket on this side. Idaho, where you'll be next week. UC Davis and South Dakota with first-round byes as well. On the other side of the bracket, familiar names, North Dakota State, South Dakota State, probably the 2 favorites over on that side of the bracket. Kind of headed towards another showdown between the 2 Dakota schools.
Yeah, those Dakotas are making their name known once again in this playoff. But I tell you, got some good football teams. That Mercer team's good. Incarnate Word, South Dakota State, obviously, winning the last 2. But like you said, that next week, undefeated Montana State, #1 seed.
As they continue to tend to Dustin.
So as a backup there, you're looking at Max Dowling, second-team all-conference guy, and you got a true freshman in Smithburger. As far as their tight ends are concerned, that's a very productive loss. You're talking about 5 touchdowns in that tight end position.
You talked about South Dakota State. They've won the last 2 championships, but North Dakota State has been the dominant program. As you can see, 9-1 in FCS championship games, the most FCS championships all time. They are helping Dustin onto the cart, and his teammates coming over to wish him well.
A lot of love and support. Every single teammate is off the bench. They run over there, and it just tells you see the number 6'3", 250, sophomore. Hopefully he's okay. He grabbed that knee when he went down and just didn't move. And But look at the love and support from his teammates. It's tough when you get injuries on the road like that too. You know, you don't have your hometown facilities there to get tended to. But he'll be all right. And I'm sure his teammates will rally behind him in this situation and get it back going. He as you mentioned, 38-yard first down catch and run as he possibly plays his last play of this game. But I tell you what, we'll find out how both teams respond. Give that young man a round of applause as you see the fans there. The Grinch and everybody is clapping it up.
So Dustin is taken off the field. When play resumes, it will be first and goal from the 3-yard line for Jason Simpson and UT Martin. They flew in on a charter flight from Paducah, Kentucky to a small airport outside of Boston yesterday morning, and they'll fly back immediately after the game on the same flight from Manchester, New Hampshire back to Paducah. We mentioned Martin, Tennessee in the northwest corner of the state. It's about 2 hours northeast of Memphis. It's 2.5 hours west of Nashville. Martin, Tennessee, population 11,000. Kincaid Dent alone in the backfield. Now Smith will join him on first and goal. And it's a handoff for Smith up the middle for a touchdown. 14th of the year for Cheek Smith from 3 yards out at 16-7.
We showed Cheek Smith plenty of love. You see why downhill slasher. Watch the right side of this offensive line just double team, get to the point. All conference center, Van Every. Excellent block there with his body position. You see the offensive line's fired up. UT Martin really responding after the Dotson injury. Those guys seem that may have galvanized them a little bit, Robert.
The kick is up and good by Jaron Van Winkle, makes it 17-7. Total domination from scrimmage so far. UT Martin with Cheek Smith. Big smile on his face after his 14th touchdown of the season. Jason Simpson, the longtime head coach of UT Martin, and the Skyhawks lead it on the road 17-7. Have outgained UNH 209-9 in terms of total yards. And once again, out to kick it away, Jaron Van Winkle. Now, what kind of strategy do they use here? Caleb Mead, the only play, really positive play for UNH so far in this game, was a long kickoff return for a touchdown. Last time they kicked it away from them, but they gave UNH the ball at the 40-yard line.
Well as their defense is playing right now, they don't really mind giving up a little bit of yardage.
And this is much better executed by Van Winkle as it's taken out of bounds at the 28-yard line. And now UNH down 10 and have done nothing on offense so far. 9 plays for 9 yards. You think they need to run the ball with more conviction?
Yeah, especially on first down. I don't think their offense has had any type of rhythm or rhythm-type plays, for Seth Morgan to get going. If they're just going to try to pass the ball on first and second down, obviously you're going to have to pass it on third down too to keep the chains moving. But I think they need to work a little RPO, run the football, keep this defense honest, and then maybe take a shot just to loosen them up. But they have to start running the ball on first down.
Caleb Mead in there. He'll get the handoff running right. Mead sprints to the edge and turns upfield. Caleb Mead has a first down across the 35. Best play of the game for UNH. And coming in, that was a noticeable contrast. UNH bottom 5 in the country rushing yards. UT Martin top 5 rushing yards allowed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a good seal there by 85. Colby Ramshaw at the tight end position, and the Mason Davis, the right tackle. He was able to reach Deshaun McKnight. I mean, this defensive front here, you're talking about 6'3" and up, 6'2" from the linebacker position and the D lineman. So, they're very athletic, but if you can reach them and get to the perimeter, you can have some success.
13-yard gain for Mead. Here's Thomason. He darts forward to the 44, a gain of 3. Again, Thomason has missed most of the season with an injury. He sat out the last 2 games as they preserved his redshirt season for next year, but is back today because the playoff game does not count against the 4-game total for redshirting.
And when you're down 2 scores, I mean, there's no need to panic, but you also have to be mindful of the clock, and you don't want to take away from your own opportunities by chewing up clock and not getting any points, or at least flipping the field.
No turnovers in this game so far, but it's been dominated by UT Martin. Morgan throws, And it's batted down. The pass game has been ineffective. Morgan 1 out of 7 for 2 yards. A couple of drops in there as well.
Yeah, you'll see here, this is another run play RPO. He had the option of handing it off, but he decided to pass it there. And that's just good defense there, batting that football down by the Skyhawks defense. They weren't fooled at all.
And UNH has been on the field so little offensively that we haven't had a chance to talk about the trio of linebackers for UT Martin. Jalen Sharp, Tevin Shipp, and Chris Hunter, all league type players. Morgan flushed out of the pocket, pressured, throws it, out of bounds, incomplete. They'll be forced to punt again. So they do get a first down on the first play of the drive, end up stalling out. We'll have to punt again.
Let's take a look at his pressure here. It's when it's third down, obviously there's no play action, nothing to hold the defense, but nice job standing in the rush lanes there. You saw Devontae Murray, number 10. When I say rush lanes, I mean when you're pass rushing that quarterback, you have to maintain your position on where his body is going to be as he moves out of that pocket. They did a fine job.
Lahane to punt it away again to O'Shea Baker. O'Shea Baker averages 14.5 yards per punt return, which leads the league. Very, very high kick. It will bounce at the 15, take a positive Wildcats bounce inside the 5 and be downed. Second time we've seen that end of the field. 1 yard line, excellent job by UNH on the special teams. We'll see if that can give their defense a boost.
Well, that was a nice high punt too. I mean, start getting high punts, you give your coverage team a chance to get down there, you nullify the return. Just wasn't able to field that football. When you can't field it, that's really all you want as any yards you get on a punt return is a plus. But what you really want as a punt return unit is to have that ball fielded. Once it starts rolling, then you get on the 1 yard line. So take a look at McKay Dent's numbers. Played a very solid, efficient game so far.
What have you seen from him so far?
Well, decision making, understanding where to go with the football. He's using his legs. He's not forcing things, and he's finding the open man.
He's in his own end zone right now on 1st and 10 from the 1. Cheek Smith to his left. And it's a handoff for Smith. Short gain over the right side out to about the 4.
Just trying to get a little breathing room there in case you have to punt the football and the punter's not kicking the ball with his heels on the back part of the end zone. I would play action and take a shot here. I mean, I would really loosen up this New Hampshire defense and don't let them tee off on you down inside the 5. Just because if it doesn't work, third down, to give you a little bit of breathing room as far as letting them know that you will take a shot.
Out of the gun. Quick throw into the flat. It is caught and then immediately tackled. Is a backup tight end, Jaron Bowling, who came in after Dostin was hurt. Set up third down.
And that's what you want from your quarterback, is to be very decisive. That was a quick game pass. Just a little speed out. Just give them some breathing room. You start to see receivers bunched up like that. They're either going to quick out or they're going to shallow cross all the way across the formation.
Big play for the Wildcat D as they try to force a punt, and they will. Good job stiffening up there, and they'll have excellent field position after this punt. Zidane Williams, who was hurt earlier, number 10, came in and snuffed out the play.
Yeah, get a little jet sweep action here. It was really a read play when you leave the defensive end unblocked. If he goes up the field, quarterback keeps it. It was a nice job by Flex Ruiz. He didn't allow Dent to get a good read on him. So he handed the ball off. When in doubt, live with the give. That's what he did. And Ruiz was able to make that play.
Live with the give. I like that. That's a new one. Oh, that's good. Miles Thomason at the 45-yard line, almost blocked. It's a very short kick that will bounce at the 35 and take a Skyhawks bounce out to the 46-yard line. But best field position of the day for the Wildcats, who desperately needed something there. The special teams leading to the short field now on offense, and we'll see if they can get something going here. But almost blocked.
Yeah, I mean, New Hampshire has to do something to try to get some more points or Obviously, they got good field position here. And coming after a backed-up punt, that's not a bad idea at all. Almost blocked there.
13 plays from scrimmage for UNH, 25 total yards. They've had the ball for only 5 minutes. UT Martin, 18 minutes so far. Seth Morgan, the quarterback, has been quiet. Receivers haven't helped him a whole bunch. It's a quick throw. Near side, it is caught by Logan Perez, a freshman who darts his way forward to the 40.
That's one way to get the running game going, is to throw a short pass. Nice and quick. It's called quick game. Get it out on the perimeter. Let your athletes make a play, get a block or two, and then you end up in positive yards.
No huddle offense here. Again, Coach Santos said the plan was to huddle, take a lot of time off the clock, maybe switch things up with a little tempo here as they go quick. Better protection. Morgan flushed out to the right, has room to run. Throws deep down the middle. It's contested. It is brilliantly intercepted.
Oh, wow.
David Tyree thought that was a great play. What a pick by Jamichael McCoy Jr. He pinned it to his helmet.
Oh, wow. Now, I don't think this was the best decision in the world because he had a little bit of grass and understand the situation there, but look at the one hand, left hand. He has possession. I mean, he danced with the ball for about 3 steps with the left hand, too. See, right here, break contain. I'm thinking Seth Morgan should go ahead and run the football. But he took a shot, and he didn't throw it far enough. But besides all of that, you want to talk about a big-time interception by McCoy Jr.? Look at him. I mean, that's SportsCenter top 10 right now. Go ahead and put it on there.
That is his 3rd interception of the season, and having not seen the first 2, I'm guessing the most spectacular one, like the Tyree helmet catch. They ruled it a touchback. That he was close to being touchback or out of bounds at the 1-yard line. They're going to decide on that. 3rd pick of the season. He's 4th in the country in passes broken up. A junior from Chattanooga. First-team All-League player.
Yeah, that was a first-team All-League, All-American kind of play. Let's take another look at this. Watch how the left hand goes up. Great body position. Right there. Oh, he does go in. His momentum carries him in the end zone. But watch the concentration and be able to. Most players, that's going down. But he brings it in with his left, puts it on his helmet. Does he have possession? By the time right there, he has possession. The ball is clearly in his hand. It's just next to his helmet.
It is a touchback. So that great field position for UNH is snuffed out by the 19th interception for UT Martin this year. Came in 4th in the country in that category. And back on offense, the Skyhawks. And it's a running play up the middle for a short gain. Marcus, you were a great player at Michigan, a safety, part of the '97 national championship team. You had 10 interceptions career. Were any resembling that?
No, man.
Were you a two-hand kind of guy?
Yeah, I was a two-hand. Hey, I dropped 15 in my career, so I started catching it with my chest, my stomach, use your helmet, whatever it took, man. And I played with some great ones, too. Ty Law, Charles Woodson, and they never made a play like that in the game, besides Charles with the one-hand interception against Michigan State. The only thing closer I've seen, but that was spectacular.
Marcus, an All-American, as well as All-Big Ten back in '97. That was a highlight play for Jamichael McCoy Jr. It'll be 3rd down here, so after all that, a chance for UNH to get off the field again with a stop here on 3rd down and about 6.
Yeah, I think they should send some pressure. I mean, if not, I really think Dent can make a play with his legs, and then they'll be in a 4-minute offensive situation and might not get the football back. I think this is a crucial 3rd down possession. 6
of 10 on 3rd down, and then 1 of 1 on 4th down. Dent throws near side, and it is caught. Flag is down. Trevante Rucker the catch. This one may be offensive. We'll see what the call is.
Yeah, we're going to get offensive pass interference, and I don't even think he needed to push off to get separation. That was a pretty ball by Kincaid Dent, too, taking that one-on-one matchup, but he didn't have to push off at all. I don't think so.
Travis Barta, our official, our referee, I should say.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 1. 15-yard penalty. 3rd down.
wipes about a 30-yard gain off the board. This will be half the distance to the goal.
So you see to the left of your screen, watch the right arm, that separation right there. He didn't even, you get away with that in practice. I've seen receivers do it all the time, and they do it on every level. They don't always call it. And he's saying, let's run it again. And see, he's got that hand up, telling him he needs the play. You know, it's hard when you're that far side receiver to get the play call. But on 3rd and 16, you know, I expect him to probably go over the middle or maybe do a little screen or draw and just punt the football. But that's a tough break because that was a field flipper and that was a big 3rd down play. I just don't think he needed to use that arm. If anything, he could have drew some pass interference and used the defensive back's momentum against him.
Late in the first half, completely dominated by UT Martin so far. But a 3rd and long here for the Skyhawks. And they'll run it. And they'll pick up a first down and more. Glover Cook on a 3rd and 16 runs for the first down, a gain of 23.
I tell you what, watch this left side. Just a no inside zone action. They have the numbers and it's great. Just a great design. Then you get the receiver. Watch the receiver come in and crack the safety. Right there. It's hard to see the number on that one, but in man-to-man coverage, you can almost block 2 guys. If that corner stays with you as you're going to block that safety, it opened up a run lane.
What a huge conversion there on the running play on 3rd and 16. Picks up 20 plus.
Yeah,
now fresh set of downs. Dent throws back across the field for Tanksley. He's got it inside the 20. Tanksley breaking tackles, brought down at the 5-yard line.
Right now, the Skyhawks are just completely outplaying New Hampshire. I've been around football a long time. I have rarely seen a rollout, sprint out to the right, throwback left by design. That was a beautifully designed play. Watch how he goes up, Tanksley goes up with his hands and catches the football. That's just pure athleticism. I mean, right now, UT Martin is on fire.
59-yard gain, 1st and goal from the 4. Dent rolls out to the right. Dent looking to throw into the corner. And incomplete, out of bounds, intended for Rucker. The yards are now, I mean, this is a mismatch.
Is an incomplete pass. 2nd down.
UT Martin, 304 yards. UNH, 31.
He wants him to take a look at that. Rucker wants to be reviewed. He thinks he got a foot in. Let's take a look and see. Now, I think it's a little late on the throw. Ooh.
Only need 1 foot in college.
I think he has it right there. I think his left foot right there. I think that's the catch right there, and that's a great job by our crew.
They will review.
Does he have the ball,
Previous
though?
plays under further review.
A full possession, though, with that when that left foot is down like that.
Yeah, I think the last angle we had kind of from the end zone was an excellent look at it. This one's maybe a little bit tougher to see from this angle. He's got the ball there. Looks like his left foot is down, but this is the best angle right here.
And it has to be conclusive. So I don't know if this shot is conclusive enough because of the wide hand spread where the ball is, as you see. It doesn't. Now, right there, he has full possession of that ball. And if your toes are in right there, if you finish that play out of bounds, that's a catch. Because it started with the feet in, and if he lost possession or hit the ground, obviously, man, that's a great camera angle there. And Rucker's saying, hey, I know I had a little pass interference on the deep ball, but let's run that back. I mean, we're starting to see a little mismatch out there on the perimeter with UT Martin and you know, versus the secondary.
Trevante Rucker, we mentioned he played his first 2 years at Jackson State for Coach Deion Sanders, 2nd year at UT Martin. 6 touchdowns this season, hoping it's number 7 right there. That was 6th in the league, those 6 touchdowns. He had a couple of scores last week against Lindenwood, both from 20-plus yards out. 2nd team All Big South OVC. We're saying Big South OVC. You're saying, what is that? I've never heard of that. The 2 conferences merged before the 2023 season, the Big South and the Ohio Valley Conference, to form 1 conference with 9 schools. This year, that conference got 3 teams into the FCS playoff field: UT Martin, Southeast Missouri, SEMO, and Tennessee State, led by Eddie George, former Tennessee Titans running back. Second time that conference has had 3 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, very, very strong conference and a lot of good football down there. Congrats to Coach Eddie George. I played against him in college and in the NFL. Did a fine job at Tennessee State this year, but I tell you, I think that's a touchdown. I don't know if they're going to honestly overturn it.
To your point, it's got to be conclusive.
It has to be.
And we are being told that they did not overturn the call. So it was not conclusive evidence. We'll get the call from Travis Barta.
After review, the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass stands. Will be second down.
Look at it one more time.
I just don't think he had full control. I think it's just not conclusive enough to say touchdown because the foot wasn't down long enough. You know, and a lot of times they're going to go with that call on the field. Now, if that was called a touchdown on the field, I think it would have stood as well. Whatever call was made was going to stand because the opposite argument just wasn't strong enough.
Still, there was only first down, so 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. Dent alone in the backfield. Sends Cheek Smith in motion, and he'll keep it himself up the middle. Kincaid Dent trying to push the pile forward. They finally blow the play dead at about the 2-yard line. And tempers flaring a bit amongst the linemen. As UNH looking for a stop here, could be a 4-down situation if Jason Simpson really wants to go for the jugular here.
Nice job there by New Hampshire to fight there in between the tackles and not give up any penetration. Maybe a yard on that play, but, you know, it's really tough to run the ball down inside the 5-yard line because all 11 guys are on the line somewhere. It's not like the open field where there's run lanes and a bunch of grass.
Dent keeps again. He's in for the touchdown. Kincaid Dent makes it 23-7.
Get a little jet sweep action there. Power read, what they call that when linemen start wrapping around as a lead blocker for the quarterback. As you see, it looks like they're going to go for 2 here. No, I'm sorry, he was the holder.
Yes, unusual situation where the quarterback, who almost is never the holder anymore, is the holder because Van Winkle is both the punter and the kicker. Usually the punter holds now in almost all football. Dent, good job fielding the snap. Kick is up, sidewinding to the left, but good. 24-7, 17 unanswered for the Skyhawks.
You see that power read. You got Josiah Tingley, the second-team all-conference left guard. Watch him wrap around. And that's called a jet sweep. Power read to the quarterback. Tough play. Makes you defend the sweep outside, and the quarterback gets a lead blocker. Watch the guard pull, wrap up right in the middle, blocks. Toscano there, the way you draw it up. Good read by Kincaid Dent, and that's how you execute it.
7-play, 80-yard drive. As UT Martin is just rolling here on the road 24-7. You see they've got the parkas on. We mentioned it's fairly warm for this time of year and temperatures in the 40s. We asked Coach Simpson, hey, are you worried about the conditions at all? He said, I told the guys, if I look around and see you guys all huddled up, we might as well not even go. Let's go out there and play, and that's what they're doing so far.
Yeah, that's a great point. The weather might have been a little worse down there in Tennessee. They're in practice this week versus this game, but I'll tell you what, they have played lights out both sides of the ball, and -1 kickoff return. I mean, they've almost been pretty flawless.
Big hit on the kickoff return at the 30-yard line. So now UNH with the ball with just about 2.5 minutes left to go before halftime. What's at stake here? The winner in this first-round game of the FCS Championship moves on to take on the #1 overall seed, the Montana State, next Saturday, 3 o'clock, Bozeman, Montana. The Bobcats await the winner here. They did seed teams 9 through 16 this year. That was the first time they'd ever done that so that those teams could host. They used to just have unseeded teams playing each other in the first round. UNH is the number 16 seed. Pressure's on Morgan, throws into the flat, caught by Thomason, immediately drilled by Josh Hastings.
You can tell right now that, like, there's a term that you use in football. It's called out-hitting people. Right now, UT Martin is out-hitting New Hampshire, as you saw in the kickoff there and then that last play.
Could be the last play before the 2-minute timeout, as Thomason is drilled again by Jalen Sharp, number 9, and that's going to be the 2-minute timeout. So UNH facing a 3rd and long here, down 24-7. As we'll step aside, be back for the last 2 minutes of the first half after this.
2-minute timeout, media timeout. Game clock operating. Please reset the game.
See what's coming up at halftime in 2 minutes. Pressure off the edge and a sack. 3 UT Martin defenders converge on the quarterback, and UT Martin will call a timeout here. Split that sack into thirds.
I'll tell you, I mean, Devontae Murray led the charge coming off. A young man out of Detroit Cass Tech High School. Great program. You see him on the left side. I just think right now, starting up front, you can tell by that sack. I told you that this front seven was very athletic, talented, twitchy. I think they're more physical. I think UT Martin is winning the battle of physicality, as the term we use nowadays. Coming up at the halftime, what you got, Rob?
Yeah, we got an essay about offensive linemen. Always overlooked, not today. We look at the college football playoff, big games all around the country today. I know you're interested in the happenings in your hometown, Columbus, and first half highlights and stats that's been dominated by UT Martin. As we said, the quote-unquote experts deemed that this would be the closest game in terms of scoring. It has not been that so far. It's been completely one-sided. Keep in mind, if you just joined us, UNH's only score came on a long kickoff return. They have start the second half. So if they can score here, get it back again, that may be a deficit that's too big to overcome, as Lehane gets into this one. O'Shea Baker takes it at the 33, and Baker immediately swallowed up by the coverage team out past the 35. I think a sneaky big possession in this game here for UNH's defense. They absolutely cannot give up another score here, knowing the UT Martin's getting the ball to start the half.
Yeah, and I thought on that last drive, they had their chances. I mean, they had a penalty that nullified a big catch, and then they lined up on 3rd and 16 and gave up a 20-yard first down run. And it's like, you know, then they get scored on. It's one of those things where they have to find 2-3 plays in a row that leads to possessions. Stops. Can you put them back to back? And I think this possession is very important. I still think the Skyhawks are going to be aggressive. They have 2 timeouts, and they're going to try to get some more points out of this drive.
17 unanswered since that kickoff return. This is Cheek Smith on the first play of the drive, running it over the right side, gets the clock started out to the 43-yard line. Still plenty of time, as you said, 2 timeouts, minute and a half to go. They have piled up over 300 yards of offense in this first half. As a point of reference, for an average game for UT Martin this year is 375. They're up over 310. It's not even halftime. UNH very late getting a couple of players onto the field. They have about 13 guys on the field right now, but they're going to be allowed to sub them in. The referee will hold up the play because UT Martin substituted, but the clock is running now up to a minute left.
I like that rule where they have to wait to substitute.
Dent has time, flushed out of the pocket, will run up the middle, will break tackles. Kincaid Dent into the open field and then taken out of bounds. 15 more coming up here.
That's unfortunate too here, because good pass defense, downfield coverage. You always have to account for the quarterback, but this is where Dent is I mean, this is where he's making his money, as you see Williams there with a little extra sauce, you know, out of bounds. I mean, once a quarterback forfeits his progress, then I think it's a tough rule, but you have to back up off there. There's no reason to make any contact.
So we'll get the call here.
After the personal lane hit bounds. Penalty. First down.
So UNH, one of the least penalized teams. And UT Martin looking to put a real hammerlock on this game with another score after a big run by Dent, who's up to 65 yards rushing, which is about 3 times as many yards as UNH's entire offense has. And it's a short handoff over the right side Chris Franklin, number 21, first carry for him. And a timeout, UT Martin.
That time they ran a little GT, guard tackle counter, a little misdirection in the backfield. The defense wasn't fooled by that. I think this is a good time to take a timeout, talk about it here, talk about what are you going to do if you get a first down, maybe in 4-down territory kind of situation, depending on the yardage on 3rd down. I like the timeout, but I think it helps the defense too because, I mean, they just really can regroup, talk about their strategy as well and what to expect. And you know what, Robert? If I'm UT Martin, I'm taking a shot.
Coach Simpson has been here a long time for UT Martin, the longest tenured coach in the conference right now. 122 wins, 93 in conference play. They've been the most successful team in terms of number of wins since he arrived in '06. He's the winningest coach in school history. He's led the Skyhawks to the FCS playoffs for the 3rd time. 2006, his first year they made it. Most recently in 2021, they won their first round game in 2021, beat Missouri State by a point, and then coincidentally lost at Montana State in the 2nd round, 26-7. A win today. They'll get a rematch in Bozeman next week, but a long way to go. Still 40 seconds left before halftime.
Well, you see why he's got those wins. I mean, very unfamiliar opponent today for both sides, and he's able to come in here and make some things happen.
A throw, and it's caught. Broken tackle for Rucker. He's close to the first down. It's important why he did not get the first down, so the clock will continue to run with 35 seconds left. UT Martin has 1 timeout. Had he gotten the first down, the clock would have stopped. Instead, it's 3rd and 1 at the 13. Clock running with 25 seconds left. Taking a lot of time here. They're getting to a point where, and they finally call a timeout. The Chicago Bears coach did not approve there, but fired Chicago Bears coach. But they're really running to a point where they wouldn't have time to get enough plays off if they didn't call a timeout there.
Well, I think they were expecting to get a first down on that stick route there on that last. It was a stick route, you know. You see Rucker on the outside. He's going to run that inward and sit and break. Now, if he works outside, he was supposed to work a little more outside away from the linebacker. And they were expecting to get a first down there and possibly stop the clock. And then maybe hurry up and run a play. But it's a nice job rallying to the football there. It looks like Connor Young, number 9, a D tackle. He's able to get down the field. But
so it's an interesting situation because it's 3rd and 1. There's no timeouts left. So if they get stopped, they're going to have to hustle the field goal team onto the field.
That's a great point, Robert. And I think that's what they're planning to do. If they get the first down, though, I think they'll spike the ball.
Correct.
And clock it and then take a shot. But the field goal team, as you see, if you look to that sideline, they're all standing right there by the yard markers. They're ready to run out there because this is situational football. Right? This is what people mean. This is a situation people mean, or you can refer to. Situation. Hurry up field goal.
An incomplete pass would stop the clock as well. 3rd and a yard. UNH showing pressure. Ooh. And another false start is going to cost them 5. Now it's 3rd and 6. It's about the only thing that's gone wrong for UT Martin today. 3 false start penalties.
False start. Offense. Number 55. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
What's the strategy now?
Oh, well, right now you have to play football and try to get the first down. And actually, I would work it to where you throw a quick out or something that takes you to the sideline to stop the clock so that you don't have to try to run the field goal team on. So if you drop it, it's incomplete. If they tackle you, then they tackle you out of bounds. First down or no first down. So I think that's the strategy here. Or to flip that on you, Robert, I think you take a shot at the end zone. I think with a 3-score lead, and if you got time, if you can't get to the sideline, you take one right to the end zone and try to score a touchdown.
This would be about a 36-yard field goal attempt from here. Dent has time, throws into the end zone, and it's incomplete, almost intercepted off the hands of Max Dowling, the tight end, and Duncan Moreland had a shot at it. And now to be 4th down, they will kick the field goal.
I think that's a great call, and I think he just missed the football, missed opportunity. Keep in mind, Tyler Dotson, the starting tight end, is not in there, but Dowling is just as productive, 21 catches, has 5 touchdowns. So they like to touch the red zone as an area where they take shots with tight ends. That was Duncan Moreland that missed that interception.
36-yard attempt for Jaron Van Winkle. 63% this year, 10 out of 16 coming in. From the right hash. Kick is up. Kick is good. Jaron Van Winkle, second field goal of the game, makes it 27-7.
I like the call. Told you they were going to take that shot, Robert. It's what you do. I mean, it goes from a situation where it's 3rd and 1 and you make a mistake. Now you play football. Nice job, nice drive here right before the half there for that man, Coach Simpson.
And UT Martin will get the ball to start the second half with just 13 seconds left to go here before halftime.
You kind of got the sense on our call, though, that he had a silent swagger. I mean, we hopped on the call with him. You know, we asked him everything. He told us about his season and what led to what as far as starting 1-3. And, you know, the Kennesaw State game, you run off 6, you lose a close one, and then, you know, you finish it out. I'll tell you what, though, but he kind of had that fire and desire in his eye on that call about his opportunity and what he thought his team was going to do without saying it.
And I think something you said, and he mentioned also that, you know, these northern teams are more physical, grounded out, pound you. You know, these southern guys are, you know, maybe a little more, you know, flashy and whatnot, but you said they've been way more physical. Caleb Meade almost did it again. He stopped short of midfield with 8 seconds left, but the team from the south has been the aggressor and the more physical team by far.
By far. I think they've dominated up front. But special teams-wise, I mean, look at the blocking here. If you don't get a great kick, Meade showed you.
I think
right
Jason
there.
Simpson's heart just went into his stomach there when Meade broke into the open field. Not again. I mean, it's the only thing New Hampshire's done today as a kickoff return.
That's it. And he almost popped another one in a situation where you could have squib kicked it with little to no time left, and just don't give him a chance to run it back.
Now, there are 8 seconds left now. That return allowed them to at least consider trying to score here. You have 3 timeouts left, UNH, so they can take a timeout after this play. They realistically have time for 2 more plays. They have a good kicker. Morgan back to pass, taking a lot of time here. He's going to throw over the middle. It's incomplete. So now only 3 seconds left. It'll have to be a Hail Mary. Morgan is 4 out of 13 for 10 yards with an interception.
Yeah, I think right here, man, you just go ahead and take a knee or you run the ball, and they're going to drop 8, 9 guys. You don't want to turn it over and have something ridiculous happen. I'll just hand it off. That was their shot to try to get some yards to get closer for a Hail Mary, unless they think he can shoot it from about 55. If he can get it down there in the end zone.
They're lining up to run a play here. They've got Logan Tomlinson, their top receiver. He's been playing only about some of the plays today. He's dealing with an ankle injury, number 5. Here comes pressure off the edge. Murray almost got him. Morgan trying to get away. Morgan's in trouble. Now he's got some time. He'll load up. He'll throw it deep. It's going to come up short at about the 10-yard line. It is incomplete. Incomplete. Skyhawks wanted to add to their interception total. They are unable to do so. All Skyhawks 27-7.
All Skyhawks. I think the last play represented the entire first half. It was New Hampshire just couldn't get in the rhythm. They just couldn't find anything. And, you know, tip your cap to Jason Simpson and his defense. But I think offensively, they really made some plays, got into a rhythm, and moved the ball on 3rd down and scored touchdowns in the red zone, a couple field goals.
Total domination by the visitors from UT Martin. End of 30, 27-7. UT Martin with the lead at UNH. Got a lot coming up on the halftime report, and then UT Martin will get the ball to start the second half with a 20-point lead. They dominated early, and outside of a kickoff return, it has been all Skyhawks. 27-7 the score. Halftime report is coming up next.
I wasn't born yesterday. That's why my car wears coupe.
We're in the first round of the FCS championship. The college football playoff, FBS, closes out with the semifinals and then the championship game in Atlanta on January 20th. The current projections as of this past week, the CFP rankings, Oregon at the top and a heavy Big Ten flavor there, Marcus.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of chalk right there because, you know, Ohio State, Oregon in that rematch, you know, Georgia, Texas, that could go either way. But I'll tell you what, I like this format. I think it's unpredictable. And I really tell you what, Syracuse could have a say there too with Miami. We talked about that earlier. But as you look at this though, Robert, it's going to play out each week. I like it. I think it's fair. And this weekend is going to determine that bracket. But that's what it is as it stands.
Last weekend of the regular season, this weekend, and then conference championship games next week. So much still to be determined, but should be a great 12-team format in the CFP for the first time this year. It closes out January 20th at Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta. Halftime here in the first round of the FCS Championship. We're back with more after this.
Motivations with Will Levis.
Time here in Durham, New Hampshire, FCS Championship first round, UT Martin and UNH. The NCAA FCS Championship coverage continues with second round coverage next Saturday on ESPN+. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Plenty more to come on the halftime show right after this.
Oh, you're good. Are you filming? I love it. Yeah, I know it.
(27-7), UT Martin leads New Hampshire at the half, getting set to start the second half. Robert Lee, Marcus Ray, our entire terrific ESPN crew with you from Durham, New Hampshire. It's about an hour north of Boston and about 15 miles from the Atlantic Ocean. And it's going to need to be a big comeback for New Hampshire in the second half, but that's why they have halftime. That's why you go to the locker room, you make adjustments. But that first half was dominated by UT Martin.
Yeah, and I think when you use the word dominate, you're talking about up front, time of possession, field position, the entire gamut. And they did it with the run game, mixing things up, really attacking a good New Hampshire defense. But then New Hampshire, they got it going early when they tied the ball game up with Meade's kickoff return. They just haven't been able to get into a rhythm offensively. I think it's a lack of production on first and second down, get behind the sticks on third down. And we'll see what adjustments they make. And what I would do, I would run the ball, but I think they got to get more aggressive on defense. They cannot allow Dent to stay back there and just use his legs and scan through the defense. They have to get a five-man pressure at some point.
The guys from the Granite State won't go easily as we take a look at some of our first half highlights. And UT Martin moved the ball right down the field to start the game. They haven't been stopped since.
No, and you'll see, they like to play action pass and throw it deep, but they run the ball so effectively that you don't know when they're going to run it. And straight Wildcat there, in the goal line area, but then they just come right back, get the ball back defensively, and keep finding themselves in situations where they score. Now, right here, New Hampshire answered the bell. You want to talk about Caleb Meade? Watch how he sets up this left return here, goes virtually untouched, except for right there, he misses the tackle, Van Winkle, and that was the absolute right spot, and that tied it up 7-7.
Right. But from that point forward, that was really one of the very few positive plays New Hampshire had in that first half. Van Winkle added a field goal to make it 10-7, and then it just started snowballing for the Skyhawks. They had a big gain here to Dostin, who was hurt on the play inside the 5, but they piled up yardage through the ground, through the air. This was a run for Smith. He ended up scoring. Later, Kincaid Dent another touchdown run, and they've had a good balance, and they've done defensively what they've done all season.
Yeah, now watch defensively. Watch this one-hand interception right here. I mean, you're talking about with the left hand. This is Jermichael McCoy Jr. Look at the concentration, getting all the steps in, the ball, possession of the ball in his left hand. Come back on a big 3rd and 16 right there. After a pass interference, but Cook was able to get a first down to extend the drive. And then right here, you see Dent throwing the ball across his body to Devontae Tanksley. He takes it on down inside the 5, and Dent does the rest. And I really think that drive right there just didn't help New Hampshire any, because they were really in a position to get a stop. But nevertheless, take a look at those numbers.
343-24. Doesn't get much more lopsided than that. And look at that balance in rushing and passing for UT Martin.
Yeah, and also look at 3rd down conversion. I mean, if you're going to go 0 for 5, it just means you don't have the ball very long. And obviously 7 minutes on the clock. Your defense can't get a stop, or you don't have the ball enough to keep them off the field. So very, very lopsided as they only have 1 first down for New Hampshire. And we'll see if they can get that turned around. It's going to be hard to balance that out, but if they can create some turnovers and get off the field on 3rd down and maintain possession of the ball, I think they'll be okay.
Try to get some momentum going. Rick Santos, the head coach on the right for New Hampshire. Jason Simpson, much happier with how his team played. He's on the left, the head coach of UT Martin. We're set to start the second half. The bad news for Coach Santos is UT Martin gets the ball to start the second half with a 20-point lead. New Hampshire only kicked off once in that first half, but I want our crew to get Jem the Dungeon Dog. So after the play's over, Jem the Dungeon Dog runs onto the field and gets the tee and brings it back to the sideline. It's a squib kick, and it'll be taken at about the 20-yard line by Smith, and he's submarine just past the 30. Jem the Dungeon Dog is a she, and there she goes. There she goes. They call her the Dungeon Dog because the locker rooms here are kind of like a dungeon, and the crowd is fired up as Jem the Dungeon Dog gets it done.
That's pretty slick there. Jem runs out there and grabs that kicking tee on command and then comes back. That's pretty slick right there, man.
Do your job, right? That's what they say up in these parts.
Oh, yeah.
The head coach who used to work down the road had a fair bit of success at do your job, and Jem the Dungeon Dog did her job. Kincaid Dent trying to do the job again here for UT Martin as they start the second half from the 31-yard line. And it's a handoff for Smith. Bouncing it outside to the left, has a lot of room. Cheek Smith gets some blocking downfield by Rucker, and he picks up a first down.
That's how you start off the 3rd quarter. You just keep your foot on the gas. I mean, it's not just a zone play to the left, but it's offensive line. I mean, they're really making the right blocks or getting to the second level. You see left tackle right there. What's that? Jason Eaton. Got a good reach block there on Ruiz. And I tell you, man, up front, I think UT Martin has really dominated physically and scheme-wise. I mean, when it comes to knowing who to block and what run plays to call.
Throw into the flat is caught and out of bounds after a short gain. Yeah, 340-yard halves don't happen without a strong offensive line performance. The skill positions get all the glory, but it doesn't happen without that protection up front.
Definitely talking about run blocking, pass protection, just high execution level for, I mean, they're making big plays too. You get balls down the field being caught. We've seen the Skyhawks catch a few downfield, and then we've seen them pop some good runs there. So right now, this offensive line, man, veteran group. You got seniors across the board. And except for right tackle, who's a junior.
If you're watching at halftime, you saw we had a sonnet to the offensive line. It's a They do their job again, and Cheek Smith, another big gainer for a first down to the 42. Cheek Smith was quiet in that first half. He had only 8 carries for 36 yards, did have a touchdown, but they didn't really need him a whole lot. Dent was actually the leading rusher with 65 yards. Glover Cook had 43 yards, as New Hampshire's defense has just got to bow up here and make a stop. Down by 3 scores. They've shown little resistance so far against Josiah Silver. Does not appear that he's playing today. Injured his knee late last week against Maine. He's their All-American at defensive end. Smith, and a good job there, snuffing out that run for no gain. UT Martin has just rushed the ball relentlessly today when they've gone over 200 yards over the last few years, 15-1. Their only loss against an FBS school, and they're at 179 yards here early in the third quarter.
That's a stat for stats. That's just telling you when they run the football, they're probably going to win. 200-yard rush, that's enough. Keep your defense off the field. You're moving the chains, and then you're possibly scoring points with their 15-1 since 2021. That's impressive.
Cook in the game at running back. It's a throw near side. It's caught by Rucker, who is breaking tackles and darting forward close to the first down, a little bit short inside the 35.
That's their game. It's just the RPO system, you know, where you get short and quick passes. Sometimes it's off the run fake or run give. But those receivers are rarely blocking. They're always running routes, and that's what keeps defensive backs out of the backfield and on their heels.
What could very well be 4-down territory here. The cornerback, Jonathan Collins, is calling for the signal on the play. I'm not sure number 7 out there knows what the play call is here on defense. On offense, it's a run for Smith, and he is stopped. About a half-yard short of the first down. It'll be 4th down. You talked early in the game about 3rd downs. So UNH is now, or excuse me, UT Martin 8 out of 14 on 3rd down, which is very strong. And one of the ones they didn't get, they converted on 4th down.
Exactly right, and that's why that time of possession is the way it is too. Just on top of the fact that defense is getting stops, but I think this is huge. I mean, this is not only just like a momentum type deal, it's a statement for UNH to get the ball back without giving any points.
And UT Martin will call a timeout before this big play early in the second half.
Timeout. UT Martin. Their first charge timeout of the half.
We will step aside as well. 4th and a yard coming up. UNH trying to get some momentum.
Mayotivations with Will Levis.
My truck wears Coopers because we promise our customers door-to-door service.
27-7 UT Martin with the lead, but facing a 4th and 1 here early in the second half. UNH looking for a big stop to get the ball back for its offense. Dent out of the pistol set with Smith behind him. They've got to get it to the 32-yard line. They ran a sneak in this situation earlier in the game. This will be a handoff for Smith, and he's stopped behind the line for a loss. Big stand by the UNH defense.
They needed that. They needed that for a lot of reasons. Number one, you're down 3 scores, 3 touchdowns technically. But look at the penetration there up front. I think it's just a misblocked assignment. I mean, you got the big fella in there, Politano. Watch him get in there and get penetration. There's no way. He's too big. He's too athletic. Politano and the big fella celebrating.
Big play for Politano, senior from Jacksonville, a 3rd-year starter.
Yes, 36 consecutive starts. He blocked a big PAT against Stonehill that really gave him a chance to win that game.
Now UNH looking to get something going on offense. And I wouldn't be surprised if they went with a little more Caleb Mead here in the second half at running back. He had really what we'll call their only good offensive play in the first half. He had about a 13-yard run. Again, they had 24 yards of offense in the first half. And I wouldn't be surprised, well, now Mead's coming off the field. He gave them a spark last week with 113 yards rushing.
There's a lot of football left to be played, all right? So I think when you build off of this, you got your stop to give up any points. You have to score points here. I think you have to get the momentum and stack good series on each side back to back.
When you question how many possessions you're going to have the rest of the game. You figure you need to score a touchdown on at least half of them. Morgan flushed out of the pocket. He throws into the flat and immediately hitting a fumble. Morgan falls on it. Big hit again by UT Martin. Dislodged the ball from Sam Brecker. And I think that was Sharp on the hit.
Well, that's great coverage there by UT Martin down the field and forcing him to check that ball down to Thomason. Knocked the ball loose. I mean, that's what you want. I mean, I don't know if he made a football move with the ball. I mean, that was a nice play there by Sharp getting his helmet on the football.
Sharp, like Josiah Silver, is one of the 35 finalists for the Buck Buchanan Award, top defensive player in FCS. He was first team all-conference, just celebrated his 24th birthday on Thanksgiving a couple of days ago, and now a timeout is called.
You see Sharp and Silver.
Expedited review. It was an incomplete pass, so that actually helps UNH because it would save them about 8 yards on the play. You see the Buck Buchanan Award finalists. Sharp, big numbers this year. Silver as well. But that's a break for New Hampshire there, because instead of losing 7 or 8 yards on that play, it'll be an incomplete pass and a more manageable third down.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd take that anyways. I'm not sure if he truly had possession of that anyways. I mean, he turned, and by the time he got hit, he took a step. That's why I was kind of questioning, did he make a football move? But, definitely saved some yards there.
Now the question is, the ball was 2nd and 7, so it should be 3rd and 7 now.
There you go.
So from the, let's call it the 36-yard line, they've got to get it. No, 39-yard line. They've got to get it to the 46. And a big third down here, and I don't think it's out of the question that UNH might even go for it here if they don't get it. I mean, time is running short here.
Yeah, I think it just depends on how close it is, too. I mean, we are still in the third. A lot can happen. But if they can get a first down here and maintain that ball, plus this field position is a little tricky, too, Robert.
I agree. If it's 4th and 7, I think that's a little too low percentage. But, if you get it to 4th and 1, do you consider going from your own 45-yard line? Morgan looking for better protection here. Pressure coming off the edge, throws, caught by Thomason, breaks a tackle, turns upfield, has the first down across the 45 and out of bounds, just short of midfield.
That's what you want with your offense here. You don't always have to force the ball down the field. If there's nothing there, check it down to, and let your playmakers make some plays in space. I mean, Thomas is very capable here, especially as a receiver out of the backfield. That's a nice job there by Morgan, extending the pocket a little bit, moving around, and then finding his man.
And broke the tackle of Jalen Sharp, the player we just highlighted, to pick up a key first down to the 48. Quick screen pass near side caught by Tomlinson, and he picks up a couple of yards to midfield. And that is Tomlinson's first catch of the game. He came in leading the league and in the top 10 in the country in catches per game, about 6.5 a game. He was injured last week, has an ankle injury, but gutting it out here, grad student from the Hartford area. Morgan almost intercepted by O'Shea Baker.
Wow, that's a great break on the play there by Baker. I mean, that's an RPO, and then one way you stop RPO is play some man-to-man, or you really flat-foot read it from your safety position. As you take a look at those numbers there, you see where Tomlinson ranks amongst the single-season reception leaders.
Morgan has attempted 18 passes. He's completed 6 of them for a total of 21 yards. Talk about a no-fly zone. I mean, they have got to get something going through the air here. Again, 38 yards for the game. Pressure coming off the edge. Morgan forced to run. Morgan is going to be, he gets away. Morgan in the open field. Morgan to the 30-foot race. Morgan dragged down from behind inside the 15. Looked like he was going to be sacked by Chris Hunter. Instead, it turns into the best play of the game for UNH, 37 yards.
And that's one of the dangers of, blitzing and playing man-to-man is that quarterback gets out of there. Look at the athleticism and the speed by Seth Morgan. Nice tackle there by Stevenson. Touchdown saving tackle. That's what this offense has needed. They have to be more aggressive, make the defense pay when they get out of their rush lanes. If they want to blitz, then they better check up, but better account for that quarterback.
That play accounted for as many yards as they'd had in the entire game. Down to 5 on the play clock, 1st and 10. Pressure off the edge again. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Morgan just took a huge hit from Salakin Hill, unblocked off the edge.
Wow. You want to talk about a breakdown in protection? There's no way you leave a corner blitz there uncontested. It's a great call defensively there. And they lined up in a formation where they had an unbalanced look to their left, so they were expecting motion. I think that was a check to defense. When they recognized that formation, that was an automatic corner blitz. Great call.
Hill's first sack of the season, a senior from Mississippi. This is a running play. And it's going to be 3rd and long. Morgan did a good job to hold on to the ball there. I mean, he took the brunt of that collision unabated to the quarterback, Salakin Hill. It'll be 3rd and long here now. They do have a good kicker. Nick Mazie was first team all-league. Of course, they want to convert this for a touchdown, but facing a 3rd and 19.
Well, I'll tell you what. You want to be smart here. I don't think you try to get all 19. I think you get 10, and then you make a decision, but you probably still have to take the points. I mean, 20 and 17 is still the same relative difference. But we'll see what they come up. We got a one-on-one matchup here to the bottom.
Morgan, better protection, steps up. Morgan looking, flag down in the backfield. Morgan throws into the end zone, incomplete. Flag down in the backfield in the area of holding. It would be 4th and long if they decline the penalty. This would be about a 42-yard field goal attempt if they decline the penalty, or it could be 3rd and very long.
Holding. Offense. Number 69. That penalty's declined.
So Jason Simpson declines the penalty, will set up 4th and 19. And a chance for New Hampshire to get 3 points here. Nick Mazie is the kicker. 77% this season, and right at about that mark for his career. This will be a 42-yard attempt. He's 7 out of 10 from beyond 40 yards this year. Mazie, a junior, I should say, from Boston. Kick is up. It's good. Nick Mazie, 42-yard field goal, and UNH back on the board.
That's a good drive there for UNH. Starting with the defense, getting a big stop on 4th down. Then you turn around and go down and get some points.
Cuts the lead to 17, 27-10, just past the midway point of the 3rd quarter.
Mayotivations with Will Levis. Mayo.
Lehigh and Richmond, the Patriot League champs, giving Richmond all they can handle at the half. And that SEMO versus Illinois State game is interesting. Illinois State is the seeded team there, but the Illinois High School Football Championships are at their home stadium. So that game's actually being played at SEMO. High-scoring game. Cheek Smith up the middle. Good return out close to the 40 as UT Martin will go on offense with good field position with about 6.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. New Hampshire just scored for the first time in quite some time as Jem the Dungeon Dog doing her work again, and the crowd loves that.
Yeah, that's pretty slick, man. I tell you, if you're UT Martin, you got great field position here. Don't take your foot off the gas. Obviously, they got stuffed on 4th down, and UNH turned that to a field goal here, but I think you have to still be assertive. I don't want to use the word aggressive. I think assertive, meaning go back to your balance, running the ball, using your RPO, and taking your shots when they're there, but you can't get stagnant offensively.
Yeah, you can't just count on the clock running all the way down on this game. Still going to have to keep playing aggressively. Dent throws, has a man, incomplete. Tanksley was running free in the secondary. It's incomplete. Dent on the game, 14 out of 23, 198 yards. No touchdowns or interceptions. He's done what's been needed, and he's made some nice throws.
Yeah, that time they ran a 3-level flood, meaning you get 3 guys in the same part of the field, just low, medium, and high, and that was the medium part and he just missed that throw. It was wide open.
Short gain caught by Tanksley, and hey, third down coming up here. If New Hampshire can get a stop, they get the ball back again, down 17. Only a handful of seconds has come off the clock on this drive.
Yeah, I would run the same play to the opposite side of the field, this time to the right. That was an RPO, but the receivers just ran a 6-yard hitch, and his quarterback has to make a decision. Does he hand it off or throw it? That time you just have to run a little bit deeper, possibly, just to get the first down. You can't cut it short.
Crowd coming to life here at Wildcat Stadium in Durham, New Hampshire. Dent back to pass. Pressure's on. He is going to be sacked. New Hampshire stands up again on defense. Tim Bonagura amongst the tacklers there.
That time, see a little man-to-man here. A little man-to-man action from New Hampshire, and that time took away some of the quick throws. You don't get those free releases that you do in zone coverage. Nice job. Big fellas getting in there, making that play.
So New Hampshire's defense, which really struggled to stop UT Martin in the first half. Couple of stops to start the second half. Jaron Van Winkle, good punt. Deep spiraling kick. Fair catch called for and made at about the 15-yard line. So long field for UNH, but the ball back down 17 with about 5 minutes to go in the third. We'll step aside. Can the Wildcats keep the momentum going? 27-10.
I wasn't born yesterday. That's why my car wears Coopers.
About 11,000, you see their all-time record. And this is a very proud program with a great tradition of success in the FCS. 18th FCS appearance all time, but they made 14 in a row from 2004 to 2017, semifinals of the FCS playoffs in both 13 and 14.
That's what you call tradition. I mean, that's culture. That's just understanding the expectation. High level football there.
Caleb Mead bouncing it outside to the right. Caleb Mead close to a first down, just shy of the 25-yard line. And they have a proud and stable coaching tradition here at New Hampshire. Rick Santos is in his 4th season as we take another look at Mead's run. Rick Santos is only the 3rd head coach that New Hampshire's had in the last 52 years. It's like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bill Bowes, 26 years from the early 70s to the late 90s. Sean McDonald from 99 to 21. Mead breaks free. Caleb Mead tripped up at the 34, but a first down. 3 coaches in 52 years is coaching stability.
That's insane. I mean, that's definitely coaching stability. That means you're winning. That means that they trust the guys that they hire. It's like once they hire you, and you get in, your family. If guys like, we know the likes of Ryan Day and Chip Kelly. Those guys took a lot of pride in the time they spent here, and been a lot of successful people.
Plenty of time for Morgan. Throws to the far side, and it's broken up, incomplete. You mentioned Chip Kelly and Ryan Day. I see what you did there. You just mentioned them. The Ohio State head coach, Ryan Day, is an New Hampshire alum, as is Chip Kelly, who coached Rick Santos. On the other side, Pat Summitt, legendary Tennessee women's basketball head coach, is a UT Martin alum. Pat Summitt, 1,098 career wins, 8 national championships with the Lady Vols.
One of the GOATs. One of the GOATs. Just surprise you where a lot of great people come from all over the country, from all different sports.
Leonard Hamilton, the Florida State head coach, is also a UT Martin alum. Morgan throws into the flat. It's caught by Caleb Burke, breaking a tackle. Caleb Burke dragged out of bounds after picking up a first down, as UNH showing some life offensively here. Just drove for a field goal on their last drive. Still down 3 possessions, but a first down.
Well, that's what I was talking about as far as opening it up. I mean, run the football. They've done that with Meade, and then start to be, get the ball out on the perimeter, take advantage of your one-on-one matchups. I mean, I'm not sure what the game plan truly was in the first half, but you see a different spark of energy, different sense of urgency, too, from this offense, and I think Morgan's playing well.
And you get your quarterback into a rhythm with a couple positive plays, getting the ball out quick, what he excels at. Has time again. Flag down. And a short gain to Drew Danson, the backup tight end, but there is a flag on the play.
Let's see.
Usually in the area of an offensive hold, and that's what it's going to be.
Holding.
Yeah.
Offense. Number 55.
Yeah, on the left
10-yard
side.
penalty remains. First down.
Left tackle Tolu Olajide, a transfer from Stonehill. The clear call there.
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah, I mean, he actually grabbed Clough, almost took him down in a wrestling kind of way. And it's unfortunate because now you get behind the sticks when your offense was kind of heating up a little bit. You don't want to beat yourself, but, you know, that's the dangers of passing on first down sometimes. You run that risk.
Morgan, play action, pressured. Now has some time as he rolls out, directing traffic, throws across his body, caught by Thomason in the middle of the field. Thomason juking his way forward for a positive gain, a gain of 9.
That's the danger of dropping 8 is sometimes you give up a lot of time, and he rushed 3, you lose contain there. Almost could have been another holding call, but they didn't call that one. You see, and then he has time to find his check down his running back, Thomason, and now you have a 2nd and 11. So it's a very manageable situation there. I like the call, and Seth Morgan's playing with his hair on fire, trying to get guys open and make a play.
Thomason's 5th catch of the game. He stays in there to the right of Morgan. Throw into the flat. It is caught. Fighting his way forward is Colby Ramshaw, the tight end. Sets up a manageable 3rd down as we go under 2 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter.
So now you get 3rd and 7. You know, it's a situation where I think this is where you start talking 4-down territory.
Yep.
A little bit there. I mean, defense is playing with some momentum, but I'll tell you, try to get to 6.5 to 7. If you end up with 5, I think it's something you need to talk about and line up and think about, because time is not on your side, and you don't want to give this offense a chance to heat back up.
Down to 4 on the play clock. Morgan takes the shotgun snap. Blocked well, throws, almost intercepted, and that would have gone back for a score. It was broken up by Jamichael McGoy, who was looking for number 2. And I think they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Yeah, and as you'll see, he threw it late, and that's a long throw. And I actually think his teammate kind of got in the throwing lane, and we'll see it right here. Looked like Hastings, Josh Hastings, the nickelback, was in the throwing lane. Otherwise, that was 6 points there for McCoy Jr., former track guy. 17 pass breakups coming into the game. Almost his 2nd interception. He had that one-hander in the end zone with the left.
UT Martin has 4 pick sixes this season. 4th down. Morgan pressured, sacked. The pressure got there. It was Michael Plez who brought him down, and a turnover on downs.
That's the one thing you gotta like about this defense is he's listed as an outside linebacker, but all of these guys are built the same. I mean, he's 6'2", 230. That's a 6'3", 230. That's a glorified defensive end. They call him a rush backer. A lot of people are probably going to question that to go for it on 4th down. I think that's the right call. I just wish you got to get a better 3rd down call to where you get half of it. If you're going to go for it on 4th, get some of it on 3rd.
And now UT Martin takes the ball back with 1.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter and a 17-point lead. And a score here could push it, don't want to say out of reach, anything could happen, but really could put a hammerlock on this game with a short field from the 39-yard line. We'll see if they continue to try to run some time off the clock or take a shot here. And it is a sack, fumble! It's loose on the ground, and the quarterback, Kincaid Dent, fell on it. As UT's Martin's offense has gone totally stagnant here in the 2nd half.
Yeah, because they're getting away from what they do. Like now they fake a sprint draw and blocking scheme's not there, and obviously the defense is going to send more pressure because they have a sense of urgency. So this isn't the same defense that bent but didn't break and sat there in the 1st half. They're going to come after you, and I think UT Martin needs to put their foot on the gas, run the ball up the middle, and take their shots.
Flex Ruiz coming off the edge, 1st team All-CAA defensive end. with the contact there in the strip sack. Throw, and it is caught. Good reversal of direction by Rucker, and he's got a first down inside the 30. Good run after the catch by Trevante Rucker.
Oh, I like that call there. A little middle screen to the slot. They set it up well off the play action, and then you get the big tackle out there. The big fella, Bowser, to block the defender, and you want to get it to Rucker in space. Great call there. That's what I'm saying. When a defense starts to get over aggressive, you have to use that against them, and wide receiver screens is one way to do it.
That'll be the end of the third quarter. 3 points in that third quarter, and they were scored by New Hampshire, but it's UT Martin with a 17-point lead as we head to the fourth and final from Durham. From Durham, New Hampshire, first round of the FCS championship. Rucker in motion, and it'll be a handoff for Rucker on the jet sweep, cuts upfield, absorbs contact, pushes the pile forward for a gain of about 9. This is the first round of the FCS championship. What's down the road? The second round next Saturday. The winner here will face Montana State in Bozeman, Big Sky Country. The quarterfinals the following week, then followed by the semis, and the championship, as always, in Frisco, Texas on January 6th.
I like the field because, you know, the first couple of rounds, they're really unpredictable. I mean, like most people wouldn't have predicted this score to be the way it is right now. I mean, a lot of people thought it was going to be closer than it is, and I'll tell you, I mean, UT Martin came in here. Now they're getting back to what they did offensively, is get the ball in space, have success on first down.
It's a handoff for Smith. Breaks into the secondary. Smith cuts upfield to the 4, and a first down, a gain of about 13.
You want to talk about explosion? Watch the patience here on this counter play. And they did a fine job opening up the run lane. As you see Owens overrunning that tackle. But I'll tell you what, I mean, Cheek Smith, he's got wiggle, he's got vision, he has patience. And then when he gets that foot in the ground, Robert, he gets north and south. You saw why he had the production he had. I mean, he's a great running back, and he just understands really how to run the ball. He just does.
Over 1,100 yards coming into the game. That run put UT Martin over 400 yards to the game. Here's Smith over the right side. Stopped on first and goal after a gain of about 2. And UNH just absolutely has to force a field goal attempt at worst here. Second and goal.
Yeah, you don't want to give up a touchdown this late in the game. Look at those red zone numbers there.
And time is on UT Martin's side now. The clock's running with 13 minutes to go. Running left, Rucker. He's going to take it in for a touchdown. Trevante Rucker's first rushing touchdown of the season from 4 yards out, 33-10.
That's a great call because they've been setting it up all day down. I mean, that's been their goal line play. It's been the power read with the quarterback. Q-power read is what they call it. And that time, Dent, who's been keeping the ball because the defensive end gets too far up the field this time, they made all the blocks on the outside. You give it to Rucker. They had no outside defense on the edge there. Easy read there for Dent for the touchdown.
Van Winkle on for the extra point. Kick is up. Kick is good. Oh, UT Martin, the Skyhawks rolling here with under 13 to go. The visitors from Northwest Tennessee lead it 34-10. Do the gritty, young man.
Mayotivations with Will Levis. Mayo.
On ESPN Plus, for more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. What's at stake here? UT Martin could be on its way to a trip to Big Sky Country. The winner will face #1 seed Montana State next Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, 1 o'clock in Bozeman. This is Caleb Mead from the 10. And ridden down from behind, shy of the 30-yard line. Now, desperation here for New Hampshire. Got to score quick. Got to force a turnover when you get give the ball back. 3 scores, 3 two-point conversions. Not impossible, but difficult to say the least.
I'll tell you what, I mean, time is not your friend. And I'll tell you, the defense has all the advantages right now. And, you know, talking about UT Martin, I mean, they've played lights out. I mean, they gave up a field goal on that last drive. But, I mean, you know, earlier when they got stuffed on 4th down. But right now, they have the advantage. They're not going to do anything as far as get cute or tricky. And they're going to force the offense to, you know, they're going to give up some underneath passes, but they're not going to give up anything deep. At least they're going to try not to.
Quick throw near side, caught by Caleb Burke. Ducks upfield out past the 35. UNH has been counted out all year. They were 4-4 going into November. It didn't look like they were even going to qualify for the FCS playoffs. They won their last 4 games at UAlbany, beat Monmouth and Stony Brook at home, then won at Maine. And in that Stony Brook game, they were down 20 in the 4th quarter and came back to win. Going to have to do something similar today. Morgan, quick snap, throw to the far side. It is bounced. No, it is caught by Tomlinson for a first down. Been a quiet day for Tomlinson, the transfer from Wesleyan, Division III school, best known as the alma mater of Bill Belichick.
I'll tell you, I mean, I like that play there. It's a long throw to the field, but when they get wide open and a little more aggressive, they've just been more productive.
Tomlinson ridden out of bounds after a moderate gain past the 40. New Hampshire's longest play today was the scramble by Morgan for 36 yards. They have about 110 yards for the entire game, so that one play accounted for basically a third of the yards they've had today. Morgan throwing into pressure and throwing it out of bounds.
Well, they didn't go past the line of scrimmage. I don't think so.
There was a receiver over in that general area, and I think that's going to be the alibi. But yes, not a legitimate completion attempt, you could say. But there was a receiver.
Yeah.
You know, he was overthrown by 10 yards, but he was kind of in the general direction. 3rd down. Should be 3rd down. It's really been a struggle for UNH. 2 out of 9 on 3rd down today. This is 4 down territory, down by 24 points from their own 44-yard line. Morgan has some time, steps up, sacked. Sacked at the 41-yard line. As the pressure got there again, it's Deshaun McKnight, number 6.
One thing I'll tell you is I don't think abandoning the run game is a good idea in this type of situation, especially on a 3rd and 5 and they're dropping 8. I thought they probably could have snuck in a little inside zone there, you know, but if they're getting pressure with 3 people, I think you should run the ball. Now you're on 4th and long.
Last gasp here for UNH, 4th and 8. Morgan throws quick into traffic, and it's incomplete. It'll be a turnover on downs, and UT Martin's on its way with 10:40 to go. Complete performance by the Skyhawks. Offense, defense, special teams. They have dominated this game. And they'll go back on offense with 10:40 to go. And that will send us to a timeout. Under 11 left to go in Durham, New Hampshire. UT Martin looking to book some flights to Big Sky Country.
Mayotivations with Will Levis. Mayotivations with Will Levis.
Been a taxing day for the New Hampshire defense, 34-10. And UT Martin back on offense, looking to put the finishing touches on a victory in plus territory from the 41-yard line to start the drive. Glover Cook, the running back. And Glover Cook runs it over the right side, inside the 40 for a gain of about 4. So UT Martin, barring a huge comeback here, will move on to the 2nd round for the 2nd time in school history. Back in 2021, they beat Missouri State by a point in the 1st round. They then went to Montana State and lost 26-7 in the 2nd round, looks like they'll get another shot at the Bobcats next week.
Yeah, if they can hold on here, I'll tell you a few more first downs, and they're not going to be in any rush. I mean, just keep an eye on that play clock. They're going to eat up 40 seconds every time they can and put all the pressure on UNH to force their hand and get the ball back.
A throw down the middle. Asa Wande's got it at the 10. Wande, first catch of the game and a big gainer. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 11.
Just get a little RPO action there on the other side of the field where, you know, it was a run play. Look, he stick the ball in there, watch the safety. He was reading Owens the whole time. It's great job, great read to recognize the safety support on the run and be able to throw that ball over his head. That's just how that play's drawn up. It's really tough. It's a tough read as a defensive back, I'll tell you.
26-yard gain for Wande, his longest of the season. 5th-year senior from Vacaville, California, in between San Francisco and Sacramento. It's Cook running it over the right side, keeping the clock rolling with 9 minutes to go. Montana State awaits. I'm sure there's some folks in Bozeman watching this game, seeing who their opponent is next week. Montana State 12-0 this season. The #1 seed coming in behind Big Sky Offensive Player of the Year quarterback Tommy Ballott in his 8th year of eligibility, it seems like, for the Bobcats. They average 317 rushing yards a game. Oh, that's good. 7 yards a carry. Is that good? 7 yards a carry for the whole season. And they're winning their games by an average of 24 points a game this season. And they await the winner of this one, which looks like it'll be the Skyhawks. Cook dragging tacklers forward for a good gain to the 3.
Just they're back to that ground and pound, being more physical. I think that was a difference in the first half. As you see here, just an inside zone play, nice patience there by Cook. You know, to find his way to pick up some positive yards, eat the clock. Any points here is just adding more to that deficit.
8 minutes to go. Wildcat snap. Raymond, who scored on a Wildcat run to open the scoring, comes up about a yard short of the first down.
Got a little Wildcat action, missed a block, missed 2 blocks there. I think you go for it.
I agree. Worst case scenario, the other team gets the ball at their own 1 yard line.
Exactly right. Best case scenario, you punch it in and add to this lead, but I don't line up in a field goal, giving them a chance to block it.
I think they're going to call a timeout here. It looks like Jason Simpson is letting the play clock run down, and then he's going to call a timeout, which would be UT Martin's 2nd timeout of the half. As we pass the midway point of the 4th quarter. Jason Simpson was actually quite an athlete back in the day, as they call a timeout here. Jason Simpson was a 2-sport athlete in college. He played football, he was a quarterback, he also played baseball. He transferred from Mississippi State to Southern Miss, played baseball from 92 to 94. And interestingly, he told us he was a shortstop, but his hands were like a skillet. He couldn't field the ball, but he could hit real well. So they found places for him in the lineup. And of note, he started for Southern Miss at 8 different positions on the baseball diamond. Second base was the only place he never started.
Wow.
And he's got an athletic family. His son, Ty, is the backup quarterback at Alabama. He's played 6 games this season.
And he's got some numbers. I mean, 61%, 310 yards, and hey, they're talking about him being next up. You know, if he can win the job in the spring and, you know, figure this thing out, man, I'll tell you what, man. Stillwater's run deep for Coach Simpson.
2-time All-Conference for the dad as a baseball player, and Ty Simpson backing up Jalen Milroe for the Tide. 4th and a yard. It'll be Dent out of the pistol set. He'll now get under center. Possible QB sneak coming here. Oh, jumped off sides, but
I think he got him. I think that's on the defense.
But the question is, will it be enough for a first down if it's half the distance to the goal? Be close. I think it probably will be, because they're at about the 2. They'll get it to the 1.
Get it to the 1. Wow. I like that coaching strategy there. They probably didn't even have a play call. I think it was designed to draw them off sides the whole time.
Trevor Barta's microphone not cooperating, but it will be half the distance of the goal. It is a first down, so it's first and goal. They got the defensive line a little over-eager. And now to be a fresh set of downs from the 1 yard line.
Wow, first and goal, 4 shots from the 1.
Dent alone in the backfield, now sends a man in motion, Glover Cook. And it's a handoff for Cook, leaping forward for the score. Glover Cook, his 3rd touchdown of the season, this one from 1 yard out, 40-10.
Just a simple zone play to the right. Canceled all the gaps, and Cook goes over the top. All they needed was 1 yard. It's a good drive there. UT Martin just bending. They just haven't taken their foot off the gas. They had a little sputter there to start the half, but they've just been able to stay on top, run the football, win the battle up front.
They have about a 4-1 advantage in total yards. Basically quadrupling UNH's offensive output, whistles, and a flag. Tempers flaring a little bit here with the score a bit lopsided. Not what UNH expected for sure. It's going to be the end of their season.
Snap and off number 42. 5-yard penalty.
And I apologize to Colton Peoples, the long snapper, but it's the first time we're going to mention his name today, and it's on a penalty. But Colton Peoples is the long snapper for UT Martin. Has done a good job. And the kicking, which Coach Simpson told us he was a little worried about coming into the game. They had 2 kicks blocked last week, has been solid. As Jaron Van Winkle will put it up, and he'll put it through to make it 41-10. Flags down as bodies hitting the field. No reason for that extracurricular activity at this point. 41-10 with just over 7 minutes to go. This is going to be some sort of penalty coming up here.
You don't want things to get chippy, and that's what happens in lopsided ball games like this, especially when both teams, had great years and competitive and don't want it to be over, but you still have to be smart.
First ever meeting between these two schools. We talked at the top about kind of the charm of the FCS playoffs, that teams that would never play each other, they might never play each other again, but getting together and getting after it on the football field as we get the call.
Personal foul. Kicking team, number 42. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Apologies to the Peoples family, but that's the long snapper, 2 penalties in a row. It'll be a small footnote in a 41-10 lead. Over 7 minutes to go. UT Martin looking to take that train back to Martin with a victory.
The first step to building wealth is being careful who you listen to when it comes to your finances.
Well, put me on the naughty list. This has never happened before. Let's see.
For the expected win over Central Connecticut, the NEC champs, they move on to take on Mercer. Eastern Kentucky looking to pull the upset over CAA member Villanova. And later tonight, Tennessee State out of the Big South OVC takes on Montana. That game not only on ESPN Plus, but on ESPN2 as well at 10:15. Winner gets the 2-time defending champion Jackrabbits from South Dakota State. Here it is UT Martin 41 and UNH 10. Although they will have to kick off from the 20-yard line after the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Short kick will be taken at about the 40. Picking his way forward across midfield to the 45-yard line. Good field position here for UNH. Wildcats came in on a 4-game winning streak, one of 4 teams from the CAA to reach the playoffs, and all 4 got seeds. They're all playing today. Number 9, Richmond, number 10, URI, who we saw victorious, number 11, Villanova, and number 16, New Hampshire. The power in the FCS playoffs tends to lie out west, with teams from the Missouri Valley Football Conference. The Dakota schools have 3 of the top 4 seeds. North Dakota State, South Dakota State, and South Dakota, as well as the Big Sky, Montana State, UC Davis, teams like that.
It's very competitive. I really love the tournament format, playoff structure. You know, first round, you kind of get these guys against the back half of the seeds, and then you start doing it. And there may be a few upsets in there, too.
UT Martin has been exceptional defensively today. Came in on paper with some very good numbers. They proved it today. What has impressed you the most about their defense?
Well, they didn't give up any big plays, number one. I thought, number two, they were able to, you know, as you look at their numbers, I think they were able to stop the run in the first half. They didn't give up any big plays. Now, they didn't create any turnovers right away, but they did get the one-hand interception in the end zone there. And I just love the way they run, hit. They're athletic. Their front seven is long and twitchy. And, you know, talk about guys 6'2", 6'3", and up. They fly to the football. But most importantly, stop the run, didn't give up any big plays. And when you do that and you get off the field on third down, then it's going to increase your chances of winning significantly.
You saw the numbers coming in, 18 interceptions. This is third down here. Throw into the flat. Caleb Burke stopped short of the first down. A lot of times when teams force so many turnovers, it can mask other issues with their defense. Their defense may not actually be that good in terms of stopping the other team. They just cause a lot of turnovers. They've only forced one turnover today, but they've been tough to move the ball on.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, you can give up some yards or may not be good on third down, but if you can take the ball away, I mean, that there is the name of the game. That's really what every defensive coordinator wants to be able to say, is that we turn the ball over.
Right.
You know, it's not that we stop the run or we're number one against the passes. What do you do? Do you take the ball away?
Morgan hit as he throws. It's incomplete. Terrific spin move there by Devontae Murray, who's had a big game, fourth-year junior from Detroit. And it'll be a turnover on downs.
Well, as you see here, defense teeing off. That was an excellent spin move there, too. I mean, did you see that?
I did.
I mean, he kind of sliced in there. Big fella, 6'3", 270 out of Cass Tech.
Played his college ball before this at Notre Dame College, which is a Division II school in Ohio, not to be confused with the other school by that name.
Yeah, he actually used a spin move to get inside and up the field in a three-man rush. I mean,
so, UT Martin back on offense. And I believe they have switched quarterbacks. They have Julian Calvez, their backup quarterback, logically comes into the game here with this one well in hand with 5.5 minutes to go. Calvez, number 9, a junior from Orlando, first year at UT Martin, started his career at Grambling. Played 2 years there for former NFL head coach Hugh Jackson. Has played in 5 games this year, has only attempted 8 passes. And in here to close things out today. Most of his action this year came in a lopsided win at Western Illinois back in the middle of October. Calvez, the backup quarterback, in here to finish things off, clock running with 5 minutes to go. And it's a handoff up the middle for a first down close to midfield. You know, turnovers, we were talking about that defensively. It seems so haphazard at times, but we asked their defensive coordinator, Brandon Butcher, about it, and he said every day they come into practice and they go past 5 stations, this is the first I've ever heard of this. They're all turnover-based. Catch the ball, recover a fumble, strip a quarterback, rip and punch. Do you believe that makes a difference?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I tell you what, anytime you have a turnover circuit or a turnover period, you know, it becomes part of your identity. It's not something you just practice and talk about. It becomes a way of life, turning the ball over, and you have to live it. You have to eat and breathe it, and that's what they do.
Tripped up over the right side as the clock continues to run with 4:10 left to go. Again, just the one interception today. It was a highlight interception, and there's been no fumbles that have been lost. So +1 for UT Martin and Jason Simpson in turnover margin today, +8 for the season. And if you can be +8, +9 for a season, you're probably having a pretty good season.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you have more opportunities on offense. I mean, to to score points. When you take it away, that's what it is, a takeaway. Then you're taking away an opportunity.
Calvez throws, and it's incomplete. Intended for Bryce Bailey. That'll be third down. So we're coming up on 3.5 minutes to go in what will be UT Martin's 9th win of the season. Started the year 1-3. Lost to Kansas State in FBS school. Led Southeast Missouri by 14 points in the fourth quarter. Ended up losing in double overtime. Tough loss there. Later lost to Missouri State. But from 1-3, they've won 8 of their last 9, headed to the second round. They were one of the committee for the FCS championship put out kind of the last 4 teams in like they do in the basketball tournament.
Yeah.
And UT Martin was one of the last 4 teams in. As players getting into it behind the play now.
Well, one of the things I will tell you is once you're in, you're in. It doesn't matter what they think about you as long as you're in. If they think enough about you to get you in, throw the records out. And then, you know, situations like this, you want to be smart. You know, UT Martin has another game to play. You don't want to lose anybody. And if you're New Hampshire, you don't want to take anybody off the field for next year in the first game or two for doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Number 0, Flex Ruiz, frustrated. Senior first team All-CAA selection. This game has not gone the way anyone on New Hampshire sideline or in the crowd here today expected or wanted.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 72, 15-yard penalty, 4th down.
So it'll back up the Skyhawks 15 yards with 3.5 minutes to go.
Or Jalen Hampton getting a little reserve action there, getting some fisticuffs going on.
And it'll be, I believe, 4th down coming up here. And UT Martin will punt it away. So we talked about it. It'll be Montana State, a team that just pounds you, runs the ball relentlessly at you. We mentioned over 300 yards a game rushing, winning by about 24 points a game so far this year. They beat an FCS school, New Mexico, to start the season. FBS, New Mexico. They've only had one game against the FCS decided by less than 10 points. And they'll be taking on UT Martin for the second time in 4 years. Poor kick over on the far side. It does take a good UT Martin bounce all the way inside the 30. With 3:17 left to go. And Seth Morgan will be back out for one of his final series as the UNH quarterback. This is his last year. He started his career at VMI, went to Shepherd, a Division II school, and playing his final college game. Coach Santos mentioned that he had some torn ligaments in his right shoulder about a month and a half ago. He missed the game, but playing through some pain, and has been a rough one for him from the start. 13 out of 32 for 65 yards.
It's not very good, brother.
No, 2 yards per attempt as they hand it off for Caleb Mead, running over the right side in a short gain. Mead has not been a big factor today other than that kickoff return. He's had 5 carries for 37 yards. You'd see the top seeds, these the most highly seeded teams in the FCS championship this year. Montana State's been so close over the last few years. South Dakota State's won 2 in a row. North Dakota State, perennial power. And the Coyotes of South Dakota in there at the number 4 seed just beat North Dakota State last week. Tomlinson stopped inbounds at the 31 with 2:40 left to go.
I'll tell you what, you can get some guys some quality reps here if you're UT Martin. You know, moving forward, guys that don't get a lot of snaps that you may need to play in that next round against Montana State. It's going to take everybody. You know, it's going to take a group effort, and you want some guys in there to get some snaps just in case you need them to show up.
Throw on the far side is incomplete. After the game, UT Martin will bus to Manchester, New Hampshire. It's about an hour from here. They will fly in a charter back to Paducah, Kentucky, which is the closest, fairly large airport to Martin, Tennessee. We said Martin, Tennessee's in the northwestern part of the state near the Kentucky-Missouri border. And then they'll start practicing. Hey, anytime you're practicing in early December, it's a good sign. They'll get to work for Montana State next Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern. Whoa. Almost a pick. Almost a pick as it's broken up by Leonard Harris with 2:11 to go. And that'll be another turnover on downs. How about the 4th and 3rd downs for UNH? 2 for 12 on 3rd down, 0 for 4 on 4th down.
Yeah, that's just not good. That's just not efficient, and it shows up on the scoreboard here. And it's just, you know, some of it's been situational as far as the 4th down stuff, but that 3rd down, man, is when this game mattered, when it was close in that first half, they still, you know, at the halftime they were 0 for 5. You know, and they found themselves down, you know, 3 scores, and it's like, and they came out and had a chance in that 3rd quarter. They actually had a chance. I think they'd have got a touchdown and got one more stop. This game wouldn't be so lopsided, but UT Martin, you got to tip your cap off to their effort, in all 3 phases.
This will be the last play before the 2-minute timeout. It's a run for Corey Harris as we head to the 2-minute timeout. UT Martin up 41-10.
My truck wears Coopers because we promise our customers door-to-door service.
Marcus, you had a terrific career at Michigan back in the mid-90s. You did play a little bit after college, but for some of these guys on UNH, this is going to be their last game. What kind of emotions are they feeling right now?
Well, definitely it hurts because you didn't win, and it's at home, and you start to reflect on all the things you wish you did differently, and all the lessons your coach tried to teach you about life, about the game on and off the field, whether it was something in the classroom or how you treat people or possibly your future looking for a job. I mean, all of that goes through your head. You know, these guys are going to sit in front of that locker room for about 45 minutes before they even take their uniform off. Some of these guys are going to take a stroll up and down the field because they know that's the end. Then I think that's what goes through your mind.
On 3rd down, a short run over the right side. The Wolverines did play today. I want to give you the opportunity to tell us the final score of their game in your hometown of Columbus against the Buckeyes.
I tell you what, that 13-10, that's huge. It actually, that game, you know, obviously we couldn't watch it, but from the sounds of it, it reminds me of 1996. We went in there, 18-point underdogs, knocked off the #1 Ohio State Buckeyes. They were undefeated, and we beat them 13-9. And I'm quite sure the way Michigan does things, they show those old highlights. They'll show Bo Schembechler and Lloyd Carr and the great old team. So,
run over the left side for a 1st down, and that will be the last play of this game. UT Martin controlled this game, did not give up an offensive touchdown. New Hampshire's only touchdown was on a kickoff return. Final score, UT Martin 41 and New Hampshire 10, as Jason Simpson and the Skyhawks will fly back to Northwest Tennessee tonight, and they'll book a flight to Big Sky Country to take on Montana State, the #1 seed in the 2nd round, next Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Well played by Jason Simpson and the Skyhawks. They showed up in all 3 phases today.
I'll tell you what, I mean, it just looked like they were the better team today. They came in, they looked prepared, they executed the game plan. I think their defense really kept them in it. Offense was just steady and consistent. I tell you what, just in all 3 phases, besides the 1 kickoff return, they dominated. And I think they did it up front. But remember, I told you, don't give up any big plays. Stop the run. And I tell you what, defensively, everything else will fall into place, and that's what they did.
Dominating effort from start to finish. 482 yards of offense to UNH's 124, basically 4-1 the advantage in yards. As we take a look at what is ahead, UT Martin moves on to take on Montana State. Illinois State, a winner earlier today. Lehigh and Richmond in a close one, as well as Tarleton State and Drake. FCS Championship 1st round, UT Martin with the win, improved to 9-4. UNH falls to 8-5, and UT Martin Going to be a big underdog in that game, but got to be in it to win it.
I'll tell you what, they don't have to play perfect, but if they play similar to what they did today, that game will be a lot closer than people think anything's possible. I'll be doing the Idaho game. We'll wait to see who advances between Lehigh and Richmond. I'm excited to do that. Illinois State holding on, and that's South Dakota. You know, they're waiting for the winner between Drake and Tarleton. This tournament is beautiful. I really love doing these playoff games every year, and it's going to be fun to watch, and it's unpredictable.
Enjoyed it, Marcus. First time and really had a great game. Enjoyed it. UT Martin, a big victory, 41-10, the final from Durham, New Hampshire. For Marcus Ray and our entire tremendous ESPN crew, Robert Lee saying so long. Final score, UT Martin 41, New Hampshire 10. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Hope everyone has a great rest of their Thanksgiving weekend. Be safe, everybody.